You're listening to the Heartland Newsfeed Radio Network, broadcasting live 24/7 at heartlandnewsfeed.com.
And now, an ad from Dad.
All right, save money on car insurance when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Can I take these off? All right. What is this? This looks good. Wow, that's well made. Where did you get this? I'm talking to you with the hair. Yeah, where did you get this? It's good stuff. That's solid. That's not veneer. That's solid stuff.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Andy, listen, the man is just about to say it.
Yeah, let's everybody listen.
The USA Radio Network presents the greatest radio programs of all time.
Henry Aldrich. Coming, Mother.
The CBS Radio Workshop, dedicated to man's imagination, the theater of the mind.
This is classic radio theater.
Want to get away from it all?
The FBI in Peace and War.
Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
The unexpected.
The unexpected.
The unexpected.
Now here's your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends.
Sidney Greenstreet stars in an episode of The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe from 68 years ago today, March 2nd, 1951, The Case of the Hasty Will. And it is a Saturday, 2nd day of March, 61st day of the year, 304 days remaining. Congress standardizing U.S. weights and measures on this date in 1799. In 1807, Congress passed an act to prohibit the importation of slaves from any port or place within the jurisdiction of the U.S. from any foreign kingdom, place, or country. In 1929, Congress creating the Court of Customs and Patents Appeals. In 1836, the Declaration of Independence of the Republic of Texas from New Mexico, and in 1861, the Nevada Territory and Dakota Territory organized as political divisions of the U.S. Congress creating the Department of Education on this date in 1867, and in 1877, Congress declared Rutherford B. Hayes the winner of the 1876 election, even though Samuel L. Tilden had won the popular vote. And in 1899, in the state of Washington, Mount Rainier National Park established. The Secretary of Agriculture approved the first list of U.S. numbered highways in 1925. And in 1933, King Kong premiering in New York City.
Something monstrous. Throw your arms across your eyes and scream, man. Scream for your life.
Oh, no. It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty killed the beast.
King Kong premiering in New York City on this date in 1933. In 1940, Elmer Fudd made his debut in the cartoon Elmer's Candid Camera. In 1949, Captain James Gallagher landed his B-50 Superfortress Lucky Lady II in Fort Worth, Texas, after completing the first nonstop around-the-world airplane flight on this date in 1949 in 94 hours and 1 minute. The first automatic street light installed in New Milford, Connecticut in 1949, and in 1953, the Academy Awards first broadcast on television by NBC. The supersonic airliner Concorde made a faultless maiden flight on this date in 1969. Its use in commercial air travel would end in 2003. It was on this date in 1972 the Pioneer 10 space probe launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida, with a mission to explore the outer planets. As the Supreme Court deliberating two separate cases on the display of the Ten Commandments on government property, White House Press Secretary Scott McClellan said the administration had filed a brief.
We support the display of the Ten Commandments in this instance.
The two cases were split among complicated reasoning by the court. In 2012, a tornado outbreak occurred over a large section of the southern United States and into the Ohio Valley region, resulting in 40 tornado-related fatalities. One observer summing it up.
The damage is truly remarkable. I mean, someone asked me a moment ago to sum it up. It's horrific.
Passing away on this date in history, writer D.H. Lawrence, actor-director Randolph Scott, actress Sandy Dennis, singer Dusty Springfield, the son of a preacher man. You remember that song. Musician Hank Ballard, Finger Poppin' Time, actress Mercedes McCambridge, who probably did her best work in radio, and musician Martin Denny, The Quiet Village. Born on this date in history, Texas President Sam Houston, Pope Pius XII, German composer Kurt Weill, Desi Arnaz, Jennifer Jones, the actress, singer Lou Reed, singer-drummer Karen Carpenter, and Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss.
I wish we could do what they do in Catrue. They sure know how to say happy birthday to you. In Catrue, every year, on the day you were born, they start the day right in the bright early morn, when the birthday honk-honker hikes high up Mount Zorn and lets loose a big blast on the big birthday horn.
Hans Conried reading an excerpt of Dr. Seuss, born on this date back in 1904. Happy 88th birthday to former President of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev. Gates McFadden, Dr. Beverly Crusher in the TV and film series Star Trek The Next Generation turned 70. Singer Eddie Money is also 70. Lorraine Newman, 67. The Osmonds, Jay Osmond is 64. The Cowsills, John Cowsill is 63. John Bon Jovi, no relation to anybody, I don't think, is 57. The sixth James Bond, Daniel Craig, 51. Coldplay's Chris Martin is 42. Rebel Wilson is 39, and rapper Becky G is 22. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the second day of March as their birthday, and if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
From 68 years ago today, March 2nd, 1951, The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet. I'm Wyatt Cox. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station.
This is a national health alert from the Healthcare Hotline. Are you on Medicare and or have private insurance and suffer from back pain? MD Topical has a solution for you. Today, you can qualify to receive a pain-relieving treatment, such as a comfortable back brace or a customized pain treatment at little or no cost. Call MD Topical toll-free now, 888-998-7225. It just takes a couple of minutes to qualify for these amazing treatments that have helped thousands of people with severe pain. Your personalized pain treatment will be delivered directly to your door. Call MD Topical toll-free, 888-998-7225, 888-998-7225, or go to mdtopical.com and get started on your road to a pain-free life. Call MD Topical toll-free, 888-998-7225, 888-998-7225, 888-998-7225.
Friends, I've been telling you now for more than a year how MyPillow has given me back something I haven't had for a long time, and that's some great sleep. And you can get good sleep, too, with a MyPillow. It keeps its shape, stays cool all night long, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And you can toss a MyPillow in your washer, dryer. It's like new again. Try doing that with your pillow. And it is 100% made in the USA. And here's a great deal. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows to take on vacation for half off. Free shipping. Don't forget, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. 1-800-951-8175. And my USA promo code is good for anything on the MyPillow.com website.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
When I found out I had diabetes a while back, I thought, hey, this isn't going to get better unless I really make a fundamental change. And along with that, I got on board with Balance of Nature. So I'm going to do a lot of things right, but I think I can't tell you how good it feels to have some of the issues that I was dealing with completely gone.
Every winter, I usually get a really bad laryngitis, cold. I didn't get it this past year. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I didn't get it this year at all.
Use discount code USA for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
Classic radio theater on your favorite station, March 2nd, 1951, Sidney Greenstreet in The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ringing of that phone bell brings you mystery, adventure.
Nero Wolfe's office, Archie Goodwin speaking. Yes, who's calling? Mr. John Blake? Well, is this a matter of business? That's fine, Mr. Blake. I'll just call him.
Archie, I'm not here. Tell him I'm up in the plant room with the orchids.
I was going to call him to the phone, but he's up in the plant room with his orchids. What sort of a case is this, sir? Really? Really, is that so?
Is it a man or a woman?
Oh, I understand perfectly. It's a man.
Well, at least that's something different.
Yes, sir. Very urgent, I understand. And I assure you, Mr. Wolfe will be here waiting for you. The fee? Shall we say about, 1,000?
I will not see any client until after dinner. Fritz is having mountain quail on toast.
Yes, Mr. Blake. Come at once. What were you saying, boss?
Confound you, Archie. Nothing but business. All the time. What's the problem?
I don't know. And at $1,000, considering our bank balance, I'll help him poison his great-grandmother.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that renowned genius who is the bulkiest, balkiest, most ponderous, and most brilliant detective in the world. Yes, none other than that chair-borne mass of unpredictable intellect, Nero Wolfe, created by Rex Stout and brought to you in a new series of adventures over this NBC network in the person of Mr. Sidney Greenstreet.
What we chose to refer to as the case of the hasty will began, of course, with an urgent phone call from the mysterious John Blake. At the moment, Nero Wolfe was seated in his chair, which was specially built for his 300 pounds, and I was giving him a lecture on the importance of money.
Archie, that will do. I'm not interested.
You will be when you learn you can make no more purchases of beer and Skittles. You've passed up 2 cinch cases now. Each would have meant a healthy fee. Let us hope this Mr. Blake has a nice, fat problem that will take us days to solve.
Archie.
Yes, sir?
Answer the door.
Good evening. I'm John Blake.
Oh, yes. Come in, Mr. Blake. You have no idea how welcome you are.
Archie, show Mr. Blake in and close the door. That draft is unbearable.
This way, sir. Mr. Wolfe doesn't care for anything resembling air. Oh, I'm Archie Goodwin.
Good evening, Mr. Blake.
Mr. Wolfe, I have a little business for you. Now, before you say anything, I know you're not a lawyer.
I'm not a member of the bar, let us say, Mr. Blake.
Of course.
What kind of business, Mr. Blake?
I have here a short will, which I have typewritten myself. I haven't signed it yet. Also, I have here a sealed envelope containing a letter which I want you to be prepared to deliver to the addressee.
A will and a letter. Very well.
Yes. Do you know who I am?
Seems that I've certainly seen you before.
Same here. I just can't place you.
Well, I'm John Blake, president of the Plymouth Building and Loan.
Oh, of course. I've seen your picture many times.
You have a staff of the best attorneys in the city, Mr. Blake, and this is most assuredly the business of attorney.
Perhaps. But in this particular instance, I wanted an individual who had no interest in me, nor previous knowledge of my affairs.
I see.
Also, I wanted a person who was, shall we say, not too well fixed.
Well, you certainly couldn't
Archie.
Imagine Mr. Wolfe being in need of money.
Just why can't your attorneys handle this?
You'll know in a moment. But when I leave here, I want you to forget the whole thing, for the time being.
Indeed. You have said it.
Here's the will. You may read it.
Archie.
January 25, 1951. To my daughter, Anita Blake, I do hereby bequeath all my property, personal and real, including the portrait painting of her mother, my dear deceased wife, Marcia Blake. This will supersedes any and all instruments previously drawn.
So, simple enough, isn't it?
That's all. Now, the pen, please, and I'll sign it. Now then, you sign as witness, Mr. Goodwin. You retain the will, Mr. Wolf, and the envelope here, which is addressed to Hilary Blake, my brother, who is now living in this city.
Your brother?
He's just recently returned from 25 years in Australia. Though Hilary has written me several times, I have not favored him. We've been estranged these many years over, a certain unpleasant situation which this enclosed letter will clear up.
Are you in fear of your life, Mr. Blake? Murder?
No, Mr. Wolf. There was a time, yes, but, not now. You will know what to do with the will and the letter, though, when the time arrives. Now, as to your fee, you said, $1,000?
Well, we usually receive...
$1,000 will do.
Well, here's a check, all made out.
If you're thinking of suicide, Mr. Blake, we must warn you.
If you don't care to go through with this, please say so. I'm not planning on suicide, I assure you.
We have taken the job, Mr. Blake.
And good evening, gentlemen, and thank you for your kind indulgence.
Well, that's the simplest little $1,000 we ever made.
I believe, Mr. Goodwin, you're going to be quite surprised. I want you to get acquainted with John Blake's secretary. You have more than earned this $1,000, young man. Archie. Archie, is that you?
Yes, boss.
What time is it?
It is 6 p.m. The clock is right in front of your eyes.
I'm thinking, Archie, it's very interesting. Very. An entire day has passed since the visit from John Blake. Did you learn anything from Blake's secretary?
I did. He left his office late yesterday, she said. His daughter Anita is quite upset because he didn't come home.
Check his club?
Yup. I didn't talk to the daughter, but I learned that she's engaged to a young fellow named Wilbur Martin. She told the secretary that her father had been acting strangely of late, a bit morose.
And what does the daughter feel has happened?
Anita's afraid he's been kidnapped.
You haven't met nor talked to any other than the secretary?
Not yet. And so far, no one's called the police.
Good. We must, for the time being, prevent that. What did you learn of Blake's brother from Australia?
He's been here only a year. They've met only once or twice since his return. The secretary thinks the breakup was because of their love for the same woman. Hilary became very wealthy in Australia.
Very well, Archie. It is time for you to visit Miss Anita Blake at her home.
I'd love to, boss. She's a mighty purty gal.
Phooey. Archie, you can do me a great service.
Anything.
Be sure to close it tightly as you leave.
Close what?
The coal chute, of course.
I'm awfully glad you could come, Uncle Hilary. Wilbur seemed to think you might know something about Father's disappearance.
No, I don't know, Wilbur. I'm just as nonplussed as you are.
When did you see your brother last?
Oh, it's been 4 or 5 months. Why?
Well, I just wanted to know.
What do you two think has become of him? Surely you know his recent actions better than I.
Well, at first I thought he'd been kidnapped. Now I'm afraid it's suicide.
Oh, I say, really now. Have you been putting such ideas into our head, young man?
On the other hand, could have been murder.
Oh, indeed. Well, I suggest that the police be called. Hospitals, the morgue, every place. Have you thought of doing that, young man?
I was going to.
Oh, really? Then what are you stalling about? I'll just step into the library and do it myself.
Oh, it can't be, Wilbur. It just can't be.
Miss Blake, there's a Mr. Goodwin to see your father.
Oh, I'll see him.
Thank you, Miss Blake. I'm Archie Goodwin.
This is my fiancé, Mr. Wilbur Martin.
Mr. Martin?
How do you do?
What is it you want, Mr. Goodwin?
Is your father here, Miss Blake?
Why, no. No, he isn't.
What is your business, Mr. Goodwin? Why do you want to see Mr. Blake?
As a matter of fact, I don't really want to see Mr. Blake because I don't think he's here. I came to see Miss Blake.
Just who are you?
I'm a detective.
Police?
Private investigator with Nero Wolfe. John Blake has disappeared. I know you're trying to keep it out of the press because you think he's been kidnapped.
We have called the police.
Oh, what do you think has happened to my father?
I think he's dead.
Oh, dear. Why do you think that?
Yes. Just what do you know, Mr. Goodwin?
Oh, Anita, I want to ask you a few questions. I think it's advisable
Mr. Blake.
Yes?
I thought you were done for. That is,
I don't think I...
This chap is a detective.
I'm sorry about this, Mr. Blake, but curiosity got the better of me. I hope I haven't wrecked things.
What are you talking about?
You remember the agreement.
What agreement?
Mr. Goodwin, do you know who you're talking to?
Why, yes, John Blake.
Oh, no, Mr. Goodwin. This is my Uncle Hilary, my father's brother.
Hilary? Hillary Blake?
Yes. My father's twin brother.
John and Hillary were twins.
Of course.
That's news to me. I didn't know that.
What did you know about him?
Well, now that I look at him, now that I can recall his speech, there is a difference.
And now, why do you think John Blake is dead?
I've just come from police headquarters.
You mean he's been murdered?
No. From all indications, he's committed suicide.
Suicide? Are you sure?
Poor father. Oh, I was afraid of this.
This morning, a hat and an overcoat were found on the East River docks near Pier 9. In the coat was a typewritten copy of a will made yesterday. The hat bears the initials J.B.
There was a will?
Yes. Could you identify the hat and coat, Miss Blake?
Well, yes, of course.
Very well. Come in, Sergeant. This is Sergeant Hamlin. Miss Blake, do you recognize this coat and hat?
Yes. Oh, yes, I do. They were father's. Oh, Wilbur.
Suicide? I can't understand it.
But the hat and coat are not conclusive evidence. What about the will found in the pocket?
Show them the will, Sergeant. Read it, miss.
You read it, Wilbur?
To my daughter, Anita Blake, I do hereby bequeath all my property, personal and real, including the portrait painting of her mother, my dear deceased wife, Marcia Blake. This will supersedes any and all instruments previously drawn. But no signature.
I have the original. Here you are.
Where did you get this?
Notice the signature of the witness?
Archie Goodwin. You witnessed his signature?
In Nero Wolfe's office.
But Mr. Blake had his own attorneys.
Nevertheless, he came to Mr. Wolfe to take care of the will. If we hadn't recognized him from his photos in the papers, I wouldn't have witnessed the signature.
Anita, is this your father's handwriting?
Yes. Yes, it's his, all right.
But there still isn't proof that he's dead, nor that he committed suicide. No corpus delicti.
And the body may not be found for days. But this evidence we have here certainly indicates that a body will be found eventually.
Maybe not, Mr. Goodwin. It's possible they could have...
What were you going to say?
Nothing.
Miss Blake, in a way, I blame myself for your father's death.
How do you mean?
I had a sort of premonition. It's obvious now why he came to Nero Wolfe.
Is it?
He wanted someone who didn't know him personally. His own attorneys would have been able to see through his plan and prevent his carrying it out.
But he made a will. Why did he draw this new one?
Yes, that's what I don't understand.
Well, I still am not convinced that he committed suicide.
Mr. Blake, here is a letter he asked to be delivered to you.
Oh, well now.
Perhaps it will shed some light on the problem.
What does it say, Uncle?
Jove. It says, Hillary, 25 years now, jealousy and bitterness have kept us apart. I know why you stayed in Australia all these years. I know you loved Marcia. She was rightfully yours. But I loved her too, and I couldn't go on without her. I know you've despised us both, and I've pretended to despise you. I had to pretend, because I lied to Marcia. I told her you were engaged to marry a woman in Sydney. Marcia was innocent. I was to blame. When Marcia died last year, and you wrote that you were coming back, I knew then that your resentment had faded, but I didn't answer you, and I've kept away from you because I couldn't face you. I've told you all this because things have happened which you will learn soon enough that have decided me to close my book and write fini. I have made a new will, leaving everything I possess to Anita. Anita is young, Hillary, and I beg you to watch after her as though she were your own, which, but for my selfishness, she might well have been. Forgive me, Hillary. Well, this certainly indicates suicide.
But what does he mean by things have happened?
That, Miss Blake, is the motive, for which we'll just have to wait.
Yes, for that and the body.
The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet on Classic Radio Theater. It was originally broadcast March 2nd, 1951. In 4 minutes, the news of this Saturday, 68 years ago today.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medishare, and Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, Medishare members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medishare. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, Think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-90-SALM. That's 855-90-PSALM. 855-90-SALM.
You know, it's been more than a year that I've been telling you here on Classic Radio Theater about My Pillow and how much better I feel and how I could never sleep overnight in a bed. I would always get up and I would always use this, I got to go do this, I got to do that. And the bottom line was I wasn't comfortable. And one of the things that has helped make me comfortable has been My Pillow. Now, you know, I get up now maybe once a night, maybe, and that's because I do have to, you know, because I'm an old man. But here's something that you should try. Go to MyPillow.com and get you a My Pillow 4-pack. You get to use promo code USA. You'll get 2 My Premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for half off, plus free shipping. And remember, you get a 60-day money-back guarantee. You try it, you don't like it, send it back. And a 10-year warranty. Now, I don't know of any pillows that, you know, after 10 years are even worth keeping. But you can get that with a My Pillow. And that's, you know, put it in your washer, dryer, comes out, fluff it up. It's just as good as new. I've done it a bunch of times. Try doing that with your current pillow. You end up with a dryer and washer full of feathers. And we want to make American jobs. Here you go, made in the USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter my promo code, which is USA. You'll get 2 My Pillow Premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, half price, plus free shipping. And don't forget, they've got a 60-day money-back guarantee. What have you got to lose? Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. That's 1-800-951-8175 and use promo code USA. Oh, and don't forget, that promo code is good for just about anything on the MyPillow.com website, so shop around. You'd be surprised the things that you'll find when you go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code USA.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. We're listening to an episode of The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet, as it was originally broadcast Friday, March 2nd, 1951, in the newspapers of that Friday 68 years ago. These were some of the headlines. Dateline Tokyo, hard-hitting U.S. Marines struck north in bitter cold weather early today in the second day of the renewed Allied offensive against the line held by 31 Chinese and North Korean divisions. The 1st Marine Division jumped off at 8 a.m. from the crest of a ridge west of Hongson, which they captured yesterday and held throughout the night against fierce communist counterattacks in 10-degree cold. Dateline Washington economic stabilizer Eric Johnson moved to pacify irate labor leaders last night by exempting from the 10% wage ceiling all cost of living escalator clauses in effect before January 25th. The order, which chiefly affects the hundreds of thousands of workers in the auto and electrical industries, does not apply to such clauses in contracts signed after January 25th, the date of the government-imposed general wage price freeze. This means wage stabilizers will disallow any automatic wage increases provided by contracts signed after that date if they pierce the 10% ceiling. The action went only partway toward meeting labor's demands for complete exemption on escalator clauses. Meanwhile, last night, the government permitted automakers to raise their prices 3.5%. The Office of Price Stabilization said the action was taken to partly offset increases in production costs. The agency extended for 60 days an order of last December 12th, the first price control regulation issued in the present mobilization effort. That order froze prices at December 1 levels. In extending it, the agency added the 3.5-cent provision, making it effective today. Dateline Washington President Truman said again yesterday that he would like to be permanently is Senator Truman. The president paid a surprise visit to the Senate to give Vice President Alben Barkley a gavel in recognition of Barkley's long service in Congress. On Sunday, Barkley will have completed 38 years either as a member of Congress or as vice president with the job of presiding over the Senate. And right off, Truman threw a little more fuel on the presidential hot stove league gossip. That is what he'd like to do in 1952, is run for his old seat in the Senate. Dateline Washington, Ambassador John Foster Dulles predicted last night the proposed peace settlement with Japan will thwart the Stalin strategy of conquering the West via the East and possibly loosen the present grip of communism on its captive world. Dateline Washington, President Truman asked Congress yesterday for $1.5 billion more in cash and lending power to help speed up the defense production and civil defense programs. The money, which is in addition to billions already voted or requested, includes $51 million in appropriations, $1 billion in borrowing authority for defense production, and $400 million in appropriations for civil defense. Dateline Washington, President Truman indicated yesterday he wished Congress would quickly dispose of the troops to Europe issue, lest it injure America's relations with her Western allies. He told his news conference that Congress can debate foreign policy or anything else it wants to, but that doesn't mean it helps relations with the rest of the world. The president declined to discuss the current Senate investigation of the RFC crime and the 1950 Maryland senatorial campaign. He also expressed full confidence in Mobilization Director Charles E. Wilson and said he does not consider labor unions' withdrawal from the government homefront agencies a serious development. Dateline Cleveland, Ohio's Chicken Tomorrow Committee, which aims at better chickens by ordinary means, has found out a Rhode Island Red, his hen, has beaten him to it. Owned by Mrs. Minnie Wells of West Liberty, Rhode Island, the hen has been laying 2 eggs a day for more than a month. Seems the bird has two egg-laying outlets. Committee member B.F. Sandel says we're licked. Oh, speaking of chickens, Dateline Windham, New Hampshire, the chicken reputedly laid the nation's largest egg up there, an 8.5-ouncer, expired after delivering the giant egg. The egg measured 10 inches around the long way, 8.5 inches around the middle. It was delivered by a New Hampshire Red who will probably be dinner. Those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Friday, March 2nd, 1951, on your radio, The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater.
Well, boss, up here in the conservatory a bit early, aren't you? How are the orchids?
Oh, it's a nice sunny morning. Even though it is around 0 outside, the sun is fine for them. And behold, Archie.
Huh? What is it?
The Dendrobium sclerostel.
Yes, indeed. What about it?
Showing 2 buds. Most encouraging.
Indeed so. Boss, I can't take the steam heat here.
Tell me, this painting of Marcia Blake, is it large?
It hangs over the Blake mantel, about 3 by 4 feet.
I find it most intriguing that John Blake should mention the painting in so short a will. And Hillary, does he seem to offer any suggestion on this problem?
He has very little to say. Wilbur has definite ideas, and he's in there pitching all the time. He has a rather unpleasant way about him, though.
You have talked with Inspector Kramer?
I have.
And asked Miss Anita and Hillary to meet you at the morgue to look at the body?
Right. And I left Wilbur out of this gathering.
This body is practically unidentifiable, huh?
In Kramer's opinion, it is.
After you're finished down there, I'd like to have a chat with this Wilbur Martin.
Okay, but you'll get nothing out of him. I've tried.
Archie, you're becoming so conceited. Soon I fear I'll have to fire you.
If it were summer, I would forthwith resign.
Run along and close our coal chute behind you.
Morning, Inspector Kramer. Up early.
Yeah, Goodwin. I'd just love to come down to this morgue.
This is Miss Anita Blake and her Uncle Hillary Blake.
Howdy do.
Howdy do. Good morning, Mr. Goodwin. I hope you don't object too much to my joining the proceedings.
Oh, I know, Wilbur. I suppose it's all right.
Please, Mr. Goodwin, what's happened?
There's a body here. Rather badly bruised and cut and in a bad condition, but I think you should look at it.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Miss Blake, but I'm afraid it's necessary.
very well. I'll be all right.
Well, I'd like to come along.
Oh, yes, Wilbur, you must.
Well, come on. This way. Well, here we are.
Wilbur.
What do you say, Miss Blake?
Now get hold of yourself, Anita. Please, you must.
Yes. Yes, that's Father.
And you, Mr. Blake?
It's certainly hard to say. It looks as though it might be John. Was there no means of identification on the body? No jewelry or...
Father never wore any jewelry.
There was nothing but this suit here. Nothing in the pockets.
That's Father's suit, all right. I know. Oh, why? Why did he do it?
Come along now. That's all for today. Mr. Wolf, this is Mr. Wilbur Martin.
Ah, yes. How do you do, Mr. Martin? Sit down.
Thank you, sir.
No. Take the red leather chair. That's right.
So glad you could come. Archie, beer first. Tell me, Mr. Martin, you saw the body?
I did. Whether it was John Blake or not, I'm not sure. But Anita feels positive enough.
You are skeptical about the suicide theory, eh?
Well, yes, I am.
Are you trying to cast suspicion on someone else?
No.
He thinks he was murdered.
I do.
But not by you, of course.
Certainly not.
But who would know that John came here, signed the will, and gave us the letter to his brother? He must have contemplated suicide, don't you think?
Are you positive it was John Blake who signed the will?
How interesting. You think it was his brother Hillary who came here, posing as John, huh?
It could have been.
But the man was quite gray and had no Australian accent.
Hillary could have dropped the accent for a short while and grayed his hair, and they were twins.
So enlightening, Mr. Martin. Do go on.
After he left you here, he could have killed John and thrown him in the river, and left his overcoat and hat on the wharf.
And why would Hillary kill John?
Well, there may have been several reasons. Maybe because of Marcia. Well, several reasons.
Tell me, did John Blake object to your engagement to Anita?
No, why should he?
I don't know. Amelia asked. Anita Blake identified her father's handwriting. She identified the body. You still believe it's murder?
Maybe she only thought it was his handwriting.
You had best be careful, Wilbur. In trying to make a murder out of this, you might place yourself in a most unhappy position.
I checked the letter and the will with papers at John's office, and the handwriting is identical, in my opinion.
Maybe Hillary is clever at forgery.
Maybe.
Did you have the experts check the writing?
Not yet.
Then how can you tell unless you had a bona fide sample of Hillary's writing?
I take it that you found a sample of Hillary's writing? Some letters from Hillary to John?
Yes. I found a package of them. In John's desk at his home.
That, Wilbur, is most encouraging.
Here they are. Several of them tied together. Some written in 1928 and a couple in 1948.
Now, we'll tell you something. We never thought John committed suicide either.
You didn't?
No, and before you go, Wilbur, write your name here on this pad.
Very well.
Thank you so much. I hope we shall see you tomorrow.
From 68 years ago, March 2nd, 1951, The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, the conclusion in 3 minutes on Classic Radio Theater.
Do you think you can lose fat cells without dieting? Science says the answer is yes. It's not about a fast process, but when you give your body back what it needs, you can lose weight without having to diet. Calitrin is specially formulated to do exactly that and proven for healthy and safe weight loss. Just listen to what people are saying about it.
Hi, this is Lynn. I've been on Calitrin. So far, I've lost 35 3/4 inches, and I've lost 45 pounds.
My name is Judy. I live in Newburgh, Indiana. I have lost 21 pounds on Calitrin. I really like it.
I had exercised and nothing made a difference, so I got the Calitrin and I tried it and was amazed at how well Calitrin really works, and it also took my hot flashes away, so it's been wonderful. I am happy.
Give your body back what it needs with Calitrin. Check it out online at toploss.com or call 833-TOP-LOSS for Calitrin's big sale. Again, that's 833-TOP-LOSS or toploss.com.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medishare, and Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, Medishare members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medishare. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join Medishare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-90-PSALM. That's 855-90-PSALM. 855-90-PSALM.
Were you scammed into signing a timeshare contract? And did you miss the part that said you have to pay for your great idea? Not only for the rest of your life, but when you're not here anymore, you get to pass this turkey onto your family for them to pay for the rest of their lives. Thanks, Dad. Don't burden your family down the road, and don't be stuck with expensive timeshare payments forever. Get out of your bad idea timeshare contract guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call Resort Release today and learn for free how their timeshare exit team can help you legally exit your timeshare contract. They've helped thousands of people, and they're A+ rated with a BBB. So if you feel scammed, get mad and get out of your expensive timeshare contract right now, guaranteed. Call NOW.
800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
Thanks for spending part of your Saturday with us here on Classic Radio Theater. Now the conclusion of The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet, from 68 years ago, March 2nd, 1951.
Well, I'm surprised, Inspector Kramer, to see you out in such inclement weather.
I like the cold spells.
Sit in the red leather chair.
Yeah, thanks.
Good. Have your experts finished checking the will and the letter?
Yep, but not all through with a package of Hillary's old letters that Wilbur found.
What's the verdict?
If this is forgery, it's the cleverest bit of forgery we've ever come across. My men say the will and the letter you received appear identical with the specimens from John's office.
Indeed. The will and the letter then do seem to have been written by John Blake.
Yes. But on the other hand, and this is unusual, by comparing this letter from John with a letter Hillary wrote from Australia in 1948, we found characteristics in both men's letters which were definitely similar.
Then, Inspector, you feel that Hillary might have written the letter and signed the will. That it was Hillary who came to my office?
It's a tough thing to prove, but I think that's being on the right track.
Inspector, what about the rest of the package of letters I got from Wilbur Martin?
They're still working on those down at headquarters.
What about young Wilbur?
Well, so far, can't see much in him to worry about, but it's a bit early.
Archie, phone out to the Blake mansion and tell Wilbur Martin that we've uncovered the whole thing. And if Wilbur's in on it, he'll be gone before you get there. We can pick him up later.
Okay. I'll let you know about the rest of Hillary's letters.
Good. We won't phone out there until you're finished.
And I'll call you as soon as possible.
Archie, I want you to look into the affairs of the Plymouth Building and Loan Company. See what you can learn about the actual stability of the company.
Okay. Boss, please put on your muffler and overcoat and open a window. A candle couldn't burn in this place. Yeah. I'm on my way.
Anita!
What is it, Wilbur? What's happened?
I came out as soon as I heard.
Well, what's happened? Speak up, man.
You haven't heard? You don't know?
No what?
Look at these headlines.
Plymouth Building and Loan crashes. Wilbur, what does this mean?
It means your father embezzled the funds of the company and he has gone to the wall.
What?
Yes, closed the doors.
Oh, no, Wilbur, no, I can't believe such a thing.
I'm sorry, Anita, but there it is in black and white.
Then this is the motive for John's suicide.
Why?
Why? Because he knew he was caught. What else?
He could have put the money back, couldn't he?
Yes, but maybe he lost it by trying to make more to cover up the shortage.
I don't think he lost it.
You don't?
No.
Oh, nonsense. He must have. Else why would he kill himself?
Maybe he didn't kill himself.
Oh, this is awful.
Oh, please, Anita, you mustn't worry. I know this is very embarrassing for you, but it isn't your fault. Now, let me take you away for a while. We can run down to Mexico until this blows over.
You won't take her to Mexico. You won't take her any place.
Just what do you mean?
What What's wrong with you, Wilbur? You're acting stupid.
Your father may have fleeced the company, but I don't believe he lost the money.
Wilbur.
He hid the money, and your Uncle Hillary found the hiding place. And he set up the suicide to cover your father's murder. Hillary killed him.
Oh, you're crazy. You're out of your mind.
Why, this doesn't make sense. I have all the money I need.
Yes, you have now.
Pack your things, Anita. I'll phone the airport for reservations.
You can't leave at a time like this. You won't leave this room.
Do you know what can be done to you for threatening people with firearms? I'll call the police.
You don't need to call the police. I've just talked to that detective, Mr. Goodwin. He's on his way here. The police have uncovered everything. I know you killed John, and you have the money.
Wilbur, you're out of your mind.
I know what I'm talking about.
Get out of here. Get out.
I won't leave. No one will leave till Goodwin comes.
Ah, Archie, come in, Miss Blake. Mr. Blake, Mr. Martin, glad you were all able to accept my invitation. You too, Inspector Kramer.
Yeah, I know how glad you are I could be here, Wolf.
Please be seated, folks. Hillary was going to Mexico on the next plane and taking Anita with him.
Mexico?
John Blake stole the money from the company, but Hillary found out about it and killed him.
Mr. Wolf, this is utter nonsense.
Mr. Blake, Inspector Kramer's handwriting experts have examined the will and the letter left with me. They have also checked them with your recent letters from Australia.
Indeed.
And your letters from Australia show a definite resemblance, having the same characteristics as the letter and the will you've given me.
You mean you think that I signed the will and wrote the letter?
Definitely.
Ridiculous.
But there's something else. The will mentions a painting of Marcia Blake, Anita's mother. Archie, where is that painting? Did you bring it?
It's here.
Bring it in here, Sergeant.
Just a moment.
I hope you don't mind, Miss Blake.
What are you doing to it?
Tearing off the paper backing of the picture?
Yes, and there you are. There's the reason for the whole thing.
Bonds. Pasted in the back. Thousands of dollars in negotiable bonds. Then Hillary did know about the money. He killed John for all this. He had Anita order the picture to be credited for shipping.
I did no such thing.
Nevertheless, you didn't kill John Blake.
Certainly he did.
Look at these two letters from Hillary Blake to John here in America. What are the dates?
September and November 1948.
Those were supposedly Hillary's most recent letters to John. And look at these letters, June and July 1928. Notice any difference?
All are signed by Hillary, but the ones dated 1928 are not at all like the ones written in 1948.
Not the least similarity. The ones dated 1928 were written by Hillary. But those dated 1948 were written by John.
By John? How do you mean?
Carry on, Inspector.
You're under arrest, Mr. Blake. Not for murder, because there's been no murder. You're under arrest on a charge of embezzlement.
Embezzlement? Oh, but how can
And you, Miss Blake, are under arrest as an accomplice.
What? I don't understand. Mr. Wolf.
Wilbur, you yourself unearthed the old 1928 letters, really written by Hillary from Australia. The recent letters are not in the same handwriting. They were poorly forged by John in 1948. Furthermore, we checked with Australia and learned that Hillary Blake died in Sydney 10 years ago.
And this man here is really John Blake, posing as Hillary to escape the penalty for looting the company.
Anita. It just doesn't seem possible.
Anita knew all about it, and they might have gotten away with it if they hadn't come to us, Archie.
What a fantastic plan.
I'm giving you back your $1,000, Mr. Blake, but I'm afraid it won't do either of you much good now. Thank you so much, Inspector Kramer, for dropping in.
Well, boss, that was a clever bit of deduction.
You really think so, Archie? It was quite a blunder for so clever a man as John Blake.
Why did he make the mistake of coming to us?
There are many holes in the plans of the criminal mind. He must have forgotten about the 1928 letters, or he would have destroyed them.
And he underestimated Wilbur's intelligence. And I thought he was a dope, too. But he was half right.
He really slipped up on the body in the morgue. Inspector Kramer was most kind to cooperate with us in that little act. Anita was too eager to identify the first body she saw.
And the painting. You sensed there was more importance attached to it than the fact that it was a work of art.
True. Some beer, please, Archie.
Coming up, boss?
Now, that brings me to an unpleasant subject.
What's that?
You were talking about resigning. Are you still in that frame of mind?
Resigning? When did I say anything like that?
Then you're going to be content with conditions as they are?
Why, of course. What are you saying?
And you don't mind it a bit as long as this dreadful weather continues?
Well, not at all. Don't mind what?
Going in and out of the house through the coal chute.
have been listening to The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet. Tonight's transcribed story by John Edison was based on the characters created by Rex Stout and produced and directed by J. Donald Wilson. In tonight's cast were Harry Bartell as Archie Goodwin, and Victor Rodman, Louise Arthur, Hal Gerard, and Bill Johnstone. Next week at this same time, Nero Wolfe and Archie will bring you The Case of the Disappearing Diamonds. Don Stanley speaking.
From Friday, March 2nd, 1951, The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe on Classic Radio Theater. I'd like to invite you to come by and visit my webpage, which is classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream, where you can stream our Classic Radio Theater podcast. Email address, well, you can contact me through the webpage, but email classicradiotheater@gmail.com. And, of course, our podcasts are available anywhere fine podcasts are served. iTunes, Spreaker, the iHeartRadio app. Just search for USA Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening. Thank this station. Support the advertisers. Tell a friend. The great radio shows are back. Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station and the USA Radio Network.
Honey, why are you putting $2 into all these sandwich bags?
Meal prep.
I don't think that's how it works.
Sure it is, because all my favorites at McDonald's are just $2. For breakfast, I'm getting sausage McGriddles, lunch, 6-piece chicken McNuggets. Or maybe a triple cheeseburger, not sure, but whatever I choose, I'll be prepared.
Uh-huh.
Get sausage McGriddles, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, and for a limited time, the triple cheeseburger for just $2 each on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Honey, why are you putting $2 into all these sandwich bags?
Meal prep.
I don't think that's how it works.
Sure it is, because all my favorites at McDonald's are just $2. For breakfast, I'm getting sausage McGriddles, lunch, 6-piece chicken McNuggets. Or maybe a triple cheeseburger, not sure, but whatever I choose, I'll be prepared.
Uh-huh.
Get sausage McGriddles, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, and for a limited time, the triple cheeseburger for just $2 each on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Old moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you two. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
The USA Radio Network presents the greatest radio programs of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dragnet.
This is Classic Radio Theater.
Gangbusters!
I was a communist for the FBI.
Lights out. Everybody.
Now here's your host, Wyatt Cox.
Crime drama from March 2nd, 1954, an episode of Dragnet, starring Jack Webb, the Big TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dragnets. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the missing persons detail. You get a call that a young mother and a 9-month-old baby have disappeared. Routine investigation turns up the possibility of foul play. Your job, find them.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, August 12th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Homicide Division, missing persons detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. We were on our way out from the office, and it was 10:14 a.m. when we got to 1865 Malabar Street. Manager's apartment.
Better try it again, huh?
Well.
Just a minute. I'm moving as fast as I can.
Sounds like she's got trouble.
Well.
Yeah?
Miss Fleischer?
Yeah, what do you want?
Police officers, ma'am. We'd like to talk to you.
Come in. I got to take care of that kid.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, ma'am.
Sit down. I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Sounds like colic to me.
All right?
Yeah, sounds like colic. Wonder if she's got a hot water bottle.
What?
Hot water bottle. Put it on the kid's stomach. Makes him feel better.
Oh.
Both of ours had the colic. Pour out 3 hot water bottles.
On 2 kids?
No, Joe. We lost the stopper on one of them.
Baby's teething, having a rough time.
Oh. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday. We'd like to ask you some questions about one of your tenants.
Oh, which one?
Mrs. Shipley. We understand she had apartment 207.
Yeah, she did. What about her?
You know where we can get in touch with her?
You got any idea?
When did you see her last?
Guess it must have been a month ago.
Possible you might be able to give us an exact date on that?
Well, if I could have done that, I told you right out. I got nothing to hide.
Well, we didn't mean to say that you had,
Well,
ma'am.
it sounded like it. Sounded an awful lot like it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes, ma'am.
When Harriet first moved in here, we got along fine. She was all the time wanting me to tell her how to take care of the baby when it came.
Yes, ma'am. Go
Got
ahead.
along just fine. Used to have our little cup of coffee in the afternoon. Chummy. Then all of a sudden it all got different.
Well, how was that?
Just did. Her husband was overseas. In the Army. I guess Harriet missed him pretty much. Anyway, she was always saying how she did. Wished he could be here when the baby was born. Got terrible depressed.
I see.
Moody, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
I did what I could to cheer her up. Used to go up there and we'd sit and talk. Taught her how to knit. Gave her some needles and yarns, a little present. I thought maybe it'd give her something to think about. Kind of take her mind off her and her husband. Didn't do no good.
Well, how long had her husband been away, do you know?
4 months this time. He's over in Japan, I think, Army.
Mm-hmm.
Harriet used to go out once in a while, go down to the show. Seemed like just about every picture she saw made her sadder. I guess that's why she did it. Just got so sad she couldn't take it anymore.
Oh, what's that?
Tried to kill herself.
Miss Shipley?
Yeah. I got the kids in bed one night and went up there. I hadn't heard nothing from her that day, so I went up to see how she was. Good thing I did, too. Found her right there in the living room. She'd cut her wrists. Right away, I called for the doctor, and all the ambulances and police came running around. Took her to the hospital. Big deal. Guess I found her in time, though. They pulled her through.
Mm-hmm.
I walk up there and find her dying, that far from death's door, and when she comes home from the hospital, what thanks do you think I get?
I wouldn't know. Go ahead.
Nothing. Not a single solitary word do I get. She's mad. Says I should have left her alone, let her done it. Come in here when she got back and read me off in words that I ain't used to hearing.
Mm-hmm.
I got 5 kids, mister. They take a lot of time, and I ain't got enough to go running around after nobody who don't thank a person for saving their life like that. I called it quits right then. Right at that minute, we were no longer friends.
Mm-hmm. When did she make the attempt on her life?
Last September. I don't remember the date. I think it was the 2nd. Maybe the 3rd week. I'm not sure about what day it was. Anyway, after I saved her life, she's mad at me.
She have any people here in Los Angeles, would you know?
I never heard her talking none. She's got a sister. I don't know, but I don't know where she is. Don't think Harriet ever said.
Well, what did she say to you when she left? She give you any idea where she was going?
I didn't even see her. She didn't even come by and say so long, goodbye, take a jump, nothing. She just left. One night she's here, next morning she's gone.
She get any mail while she was here?
Yeah. Once in a while she'd get a letter from her husband. Then there was a couple of letters from San Francisco. I don't know who they was from.
She take everything with her? All of her personal things?
Nothing. Left it all here. Of course, it's not much, but it's all here.
I see. Where are the things, ma'am?
Downstairs in the basement. I got it all put away in case she ever comes back. Gonna cost her, too. Storage and for me to pack it. I told you it isn't much. Some dresses, a few clothes for the baby, phonograph, couple of records. That's about it. You can see them if you want to.
We'd like to take a look at them before we leave.
Yeah, sure thing. Can't let you take them, though. I gotta collect for the storage.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Shipley have any close friends that you know of?
Well, not that I know of. Of course, she might have had some down at the Dream Palace.
Where's that?
Where she worked. Dance hall downtown. She was kind of hostess there.
Mm-hmm. That's the name of the place, is it? Dream Palace?
Yeah. She might have had some friends down there. None of them ever came here, though. At least if they did, I never saw them.
You know of any reason that she might have left in such a hurry?
Well, not right off, I can't think of one. There was something wrong with her, though, when she came back from the hospital. You know, when she had the baby, she was worried about something.
Would you know what it was?
No, all I know is that when she'd been home a couple of days, she came down here and asked me to do some work on the apartment. I told her if she wanted anything done, she could do it herself the way she talked to me.
Well, what'd she want done?
Silliest thing I ever heard of. She didn't have anything to steal.
Yeah?
She wanted all the locks on the doors changed.
10:46 a.m. In the company of the apartment manager, Barbara Fleischer, Frank and I went down to the basement and looked through the missing woman's effects. Other than the phonograph, several cardboard boxes of used baby clothes, and cheap woman's dresses, we found nothing. There were no snapshots or letters to aid us in ascertaining where she might have gone. We asked Mrs. Fleischer to notify us in the event that she heard from the Shipley woman. We put in a call to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and verified the story about the attempted suicide. 11:15 a.m. We checked the phone book for the address of the Dream Palace Dance Hall. It was on the second floor of a large building at the corner of 7th and Margot Streets. On the front of the building were several faded photographs of contest winners with the cups that they'd won and the name of the proprietor, Ernest Lasnik. We went upstairs. It was a large barn-like room with crepe paper birds hanging over the lights. In the rear of the place, at one of the tables, we found Lasnik. He was just eating his lunch.
Mr. Lasnik?
Yeah? What do you want?
I'd like to ask you some questions. We're police officers. My name's Smith. It's my partner, Sergeant Friday.
Hi.
How are you?
Won't shake hands. Got butter all over them. Sit down.
Thank you.
Care for a sandwich?
No, thank you.
Well, you do go right ahead. There's all the makings, bread, butter, salami, pickles. Help yourself.
No, thanks, Mr. Lasnik.
You don't mind if I go ahead, huh? Bunch of kids coming in at 3:30. I'd like to get the place cleaned up before they get here.
No, sir, you go right ahead.
All right. What do you want to see me about?
It's about one of your employees, sir.
Yeah? Which one?
Girl named Harriet Shipley.
Oh, yeah, I remember. She don't work here no more.
She doesn't work here anymore?
No.
Got any idea where she is?
No, got the slightest. I ain't seen Nadine in about maybe 6 months.
No, sir, you don't understand. We're inquiring about a Harriet Shipley.
Yeah, I know. I told you. I ain't seen her in 6 months.
What's this about Nadine?
It's her club name.
Oh.
See, lots of girls don't like to use their real names. In case a fellow wants to get chummy away from here, it's easier if we don't know the girl's real name. Harriet used Nadine.
I understand.
We got a bunch of them. When one of the girls leaves, we put the name back in a hat. New girl picks it. Had 14 Nadine since we opened. 27 Altheas.
Yes, sir. Do you have any idea where the Shipley girl is?
No. Might check her husband. He might know.
We understand he was in the Army.
Yeah, that's right. He is. Overseas. He should know where his wife is. I'll ask him.
Well, we'll probably do that, sir. We thought maybe we could turn her up ourselves. There's been a missing report filed on her.
Missing, huh? Who told it?
Sir?
Who told about her being missing?
The report was filed by her mother-in-law.
Well, I wish I could help you fellas out.
The last time you saw the Shipley girl, she say anything about leaving town?
No. Wouldn't be surprised, though.
Why do you say that?
Well, poor kid was scared to death. Told me she wanted to get away.
Do you know what she was frightened about?
Yeah, Cliff Bender. That's what she was afraid of, Cliff.
Well, who's he?
Well, look, I'll tell you the whole thing. Be easier that way. One favor I gotta ask you.
Yes, sir?
You won't tell Cliff I told you. If he come up here, he could tear the place apart easy. You gotta promise me you won't tell him.
All right, sir, you go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Nadine, Harriet, well, she came to work for me about 1.5 years ago. Came in and told me she'd had some experience in a dance place in the Midwest. I don't remember the name right off. Probably come to me.
Yes, sir?
Well, I told her I'd try her, you know, sort of probation.
Yes, sir?
Well, it worked out fine. End of the week, I put her on permanent. She did real well. A lot of guys got coming in just to dance with her. Wouldn't have nobody else, just Nadine, or Harriet. Well, that's how she met Cliff. He come in one night, fell for her, and they started to go together. I told him I didn't like the idea of girls going out with the customers. Not good business. Didn't make any difference to them, though. They kept right on seeing each other.
That's this Bender fellow.
Yeah. Well, anyway, one night the soldier come in. He was took right away with Nadine. Asked her for a dance. Kept buying tickets all night so he could dance with her. Come back the next night. Same thing. All night long he danced with Nadine.
That's Harriet.
Yeah, that's right. Called her Nadine. You know, I told you about it.
Yes, sir.
Made Cliff plenty sore, but there wasn't anything he could do about it. She wanted to be with a soldier. It wasn't too long before she told him he was going to get married. Well, word got around about that. Really made Cliff hacked. Real hacked.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, him and the soldier, Shipley, had a fight downstairs one night after we closed. Guess Cliff waited for him and Nadine to come down. Anyway, it was a real brawl. Cops and everything. Cliff really cleaned up on the soldier. Didn't do any good, though.
What do you mean?
Nadine told Cliff to stay away from her. keep far away. Told him that her and the soldier was going to get married and that they were through. She meant Cliff and her. Well, the soldier and Nadine got married a couple days later, and she quit her job. Right after that, I heard he went overseas, and Cliff was around trying to break things up. Didn't do no good, though. Nadine loved the soldier, and she planned to stay with him.
Yes, sir.
Well, I tried to talk to Cliff, tell him to stay out of it. Leave the girl alone.
What was that?
I told him to leave the girl alone,
I see.
Didn't do any good. He was sure hot. He said that she was his girl. Might take some time, but he'd get her for running out on him. I figured he told her that, too. That's what she was afraid of. Don't blame her. Cliff told me that, I'd believe him.
What's that, sir?
That he was going to kill her.
12:26 p.m. After we'd gotten the names and addresses of the employees of the Dream Palace who knew the missing girl, Frank and I went back to the office. We had the names checked through the record bureau, but we found that only one of the 14 people on the list had arrest records. That one was a Cliff Bender, who'd been picked up on a charge of suspicion of burglary. However, according to the information on the report, he'd been released because of lack of evidence. We checked the log about the fight Lasnik had mentioned. We found that an FI card had been filed, but that no arrest had been made. We went over to room 45 and we talked with Sergeant Egenweiler and Sergeant Rubles, the officers who'd handled the burglary case. They told us that in their contacts with Bender, he was sullen and uncooperative. They told us that he'd been seen in the company of known criminals. They also told us that in their opinion, they considered the man dangerous. We checked his last known address, but we found that he'd moved in July, leaving no forwarding address. While Frank and I checked out the rest of the missing girl's friends and acquaintances, Sergeant Graham and Cliff Bailey tried to check on Bender. We talked to everybody on the list we'd gotten from Ernest Lasnik, but none of them could give us any idea where we might find the Shipley girl. Most of them, however, told us about the threat that Bender had made against her life and expressed the opinion that he was responsible for her disappearance. The next day, Wednesday, August 13th, Frank and I went by communications, then we checked back into the office.
I tell you the mother-in-law of that missing girl called again this morning?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, she wanted to know how we were doing, what progress we've been able to make.
Well, what'd you tell her?
Well, I filled her in on what we found. I didn't tell her about Bender, though. Just said we thought we'd be able to find the girl. You talked to her when she made the original report, didn't you, Joe?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Well, how do you mean?
Well, isn't there something there that's a little off base to you?
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
Well, it just seems to me that she doesn't care if we find her daughter-in-law or not. All she cares about's the kid.
Well, yeah, I kind of got that idea myself. The way she talked, doesn't seem that she and the girl got along too well, does it?
No. Just seems like there's something she isn't telling us. I don't know what it is. I asked her this morning if she'd heard from her son, if he knew anything about where his wife might be.
What'd you say to that?
Well, she told me she didn't want to bother him, make him worry. Wouldn't even tell me his mailing address. Said she didn't want him alarmed unless there was a reason.
No, the way I see it, his wife being gone is reason enough.
Yeah, that's the way it seems to me, and I told her that. She said our job was just to find the girl and the baby, and that's all.
Well, cooperation like that isn't going to make it any easier, is it? We can only do so much if she isn't going to help us.
No, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Her filing the report and then holding out information.
I maybe better get over and talk to her again. See if we can get the whole story. How about Graham and Bailey? You heard from them?
No, there's a note in the book. They got a lead on Bender. Graham said they were going to run it down for us this morning.
What time you got now?
9:43.
I want to talk to the skipper. Make arrangements to put a picture of the Shipley girl on suspects wanted this afternoon. Might be able to turn something, huh?
Sure, a lot of loose ends.
I get it. Missing persons Friday. Yeah, Graham. Where? What'd she say? Yeah, well, that's about the same. What? Yeah. Well, you want to call the crime line? Right. No, we'll meet you out there right away. Right, bye. Well, they found where Bender was living.
What do you mean, what?
Checked out last June, about the same time the Shipley girl disappeared. Landlady hasn't seen him since. Guys came up with something else.
Yeah.
A couple of shirts for a baby. Bloodstains all over him. 10:02 a.m. We got to the apartment where Bender had been living. The crew from the crime lab were there, and they were photographing the room and the clothing that had been found. Sergeant J. Allen told us that he'd have to run a precipitate test on the stains before he could tell whether or not they were of human origin. 10:45 a.m. They finished their investigation on the scene, and they went back to Central Station to compile the results. Frank called the office, and a local and an APB were put out on Cliff Bender, asking that he be picked up as a possible suspect. We also had his card flagged in the record bureau. We talked to the landlady of the apartment building, and she told us that Bender had left his apartment hurriedly one night about the middle of June. She was unable to tell us the exact date, but she did go on to say that she'd been getting a check for the rent each month. We asked her if she could show us either one of the checks or an envelope that it had come in. She explained that she had thrown the envelopes away and had cashed the checks. She was unable to tell us where they'd been mailed from. She said that as far as she knew, she'd never seen the Shipley girl in Bender's apartment. We asked her to notify us immediately in the event that the suspect returned. We put in a call to the bank where the rent checks were cashed, and we asked that they give us the information on them. 1:30 p.m. Frank and I went over to the crime lab, and we talked to Jay Allen. He told us that the stains on the baby clothes were human blood. He showed us the photographs taken, but there was nothing in them that would give us any lead as to either the girl's or Bender's whereabouts. That afternoon, the picture of Harriet Shipley was telecast over the police program. We got several calls from citizens who said that they'd seen the girl. We checked them all out. One of the callers, a bus driver, told us that he'd seen the girl and the baby on his bus during the month of June, and that she'd gotten off in San Diego. We alerted the police in that city to look for her. Thursday morning, Frank and I checked into the office. You want to check the book, Frank, see if there's anything from San Diego?
Right.
I got it. Missing persons, Friday. Yes, that's right. Yes, we did. Where? You sure about that? Right away. Frank, get your coat.
What do you got?
Shipley girl, they found her.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
March 2nd, 1954, Dragnet on Classic Radio Theater.
This is a national health alert from the Healthcare Hotline. Are you on Medicare and or have private insurance and suffer from back pain? MD Topical has a solution for you. Today, you can qualify to receive a pain-relieving treatment, such as a comfortable back brace or a customized pain treatment at little or no cost. Call MD Topical toll-free now, 877-875-5909. It just takes a couple of minutes to qualify for these amazing treatments that have helped thousands of people with severe pain. Your personalized pain treatment will be delivered directly to your door. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com and get started on your road to a pain-free life. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com.
Friends, I've been telling you now for more than a year how MyPillow has given me back something I haven't had for a long time, and that's some great sleep. And you can get good sleep, too, with a MyPillow. It keeps its shape, stays cool all night long, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And you can toss a MyPillow in your washer, dryer. It's like new again. Try doing that with your pillow. And it is 100% made in the USA. And here's a great deal. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows to take on vacation for half off. Free shipping. Don't forget, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. 1-800-951-8175. And my USA promo code is good for anything on the MyPillow.com website.
Do you think you can lose fat cells without dieting? Science says the answer is yes. It's not about a fast process, but when you give your body back what it needs, you can lose weight without having to diet. Calitrin is specially formulated to do exactly that and proven for healthy and safe weight loss. Just listen to what people are saying about it.
Hi, this is Lynn. I've been on Calitrin. So far, I've lost 35 3/4 inches, and I've lost 45 pounds.
My name is Judy. I live in Newburgh, Indiana. I have lost 21 pounds on Calitrin. I really like it.
I had exercised and nothing made a difference. So I got the Calitrin and I tried it and was amazed at how well Calitrin really works. And it also took my hot flashes away. So it's been wonderful. I am happy.
Give your body back what it needs with Calitrin. Check it out online at toploss.com or call 833-TOP-LOSS for Calitrin's big sale. Again, that's 833-TOP-LOSS or toploss.com.
Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station, March 2nd, 1954, Dragnet, the big TV.
The call had come from a nurse at the State Mental Hospital in Camarillo. She told me that they had a patient who resembled the photograph of the missing girl as televised on our police program. Frank and I left the office and drove out to the hospital. We talked to the nurse and to the doctor who was taking care of the sick girl. From personal effects and the scars on her wrists, we were reasonably sure of the identification. The doctor told us that the girl had been committed on July 17th by her sister under the name Harriet Lavin. He told us that the girl was undergoing treatment, but that there was little hope for a complete recovery and that it would be some time before she could be permitted to leave the violent ward. We tried to talk to her, but we were unable to get any coherent answers. We asked about the baby, but the authorities were unable to give us any information. We got the name and address of the sister who'd committed the Shipley girl, and we drove down to San Diego to talk to her. It was a small place in a wartime housing development. The paint was peeling off the plyboard walls, and the front yard was overgrown with weeds. The woman who answered the door identified herself as Pauline Lavin.
Sure, what do you want to know? Don't make no difference now. You go back and tell her it's too late. Way too late.
Tell who, ma'am?
Mrs. Shipley, Harriet's mother-in-law. You go back and tell her she done it good. There ain't nothing left to do to Harriet. It's all been done. You can tell her that.
Well, we don't work for Miss Shipley, ma'am. We're trying to find out what happened to your sister and the baby.
Who asked you to find out in the first place? It was her, wasn't it? Wasn't she the one?
She filed a report.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, you go back and tell her there's nothing more she can do to Harriet or the baby or Big Jerry. Nothing at all she can do.
Where is the baby, ma'am?
He's not here.
Do you know where he is?
Yes, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell anybody. I promised Harriet I wouldn't tell, and I'm going to keep the promise.
Miss Lavin, we don't want to hurt your sister. We're just trying to get to the truth. Now, maybe you better tell us what you know.
You ain't doing this for old Miss Shipley?
No, ma'am.
All right, then. I'll tell you, but not for her. I wouldn't give her the right time of day. She's the one that did it, the whole thing. You can lay it right at her feet.
All right, you want to tell us about it?
Since they got married, she's given the kids trouble. Right from the first she heard about it. Said that Harriet wasn't good enough for his son. Said Harriet was cheap.
From March 2nd, 1954, an episode of Dragnet. I'm Wyatt Cox, and you're listening to Classic Radio Theater, some of the greatest radio programs of all time. We'll have the conclusion of this episode of Dragnet coming up in just about 4 minutes. And a reminder, you can always hear our podcast at our webpage, which is classicradio.stream, classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share, and Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join Medi-Share anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-90-SALM. That's 855-90-PSALM. 855-90-SALM.
You know, it's been more than a year that I've been telling you here on Classic Radio Theater about MyPillow and how much better I feel and how I could never sleep overnight in a bed. I would always get up and I would always use this, I got to go do this, I got to do that. And the bottom line was I wasn't comfortable. And one of the things that has helped make me comfortable has been MyPillow. Now, you know, I get up now maybe once a night, maybe, and that's because I do have to, you know, because I'm an old man. But here's something that you should try. Go to MyPillow.com and get you a MyPillow 4-pack. You get to use promo code USA. You'll get 2 My Premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for half off, plus free shipping. And remember, you get a 60-day money-back guarantee. You try it, you don't like it, send it back. And a 10-year warranty. Now, I don't know of any pillows that, you know, after 10 years are even worth keeping. But you can get that with a MyPillow. And that's, you know, put it in your washer, dryer, comes out, fluff it up. It's just as good as new. I've done it a bunch of times. Try doing that with your current pillow. You end up with a dryer and washer full of feathers. And we want to make American jobs. Here you go, made in the USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter my promo code, which is USA. You'll get 2 MyPillow Premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, half price, plus free shipping. And don't forget, they've got a 60-day money-back guarantee. What have you got to lose? Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. That's 1-800-951-8175, and use promo code USA. Oh, and don't forget, that promo code is good for just about anything on the MyPillow.com website, so shop around. You'd be surprised the things that you'll find when you go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code USA.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
And you're listening to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of Dragnet. March 2nd, 1954, the big TV.
Since they got married, she's given the kids trouble. Right from the first she heard about it. Said that Harriet wasn't good enough for his son. Said Harriet was cheap. Didn't make any difference to the kids. They got married anyway. They were in love, so they got married.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Big Jerry went overseas, she started on Harriet to get an annulment. All the time writing her letters telling her how cheap she was. That if she really loved Jerry, she'd get an annulment. And she found out about the baby, so she started saying how they should get a divorce.
Does Harriet's husband know about this, would you know?
Sure. All along he knew it. He didn't like it. Told his mother to stay out of their lives. Kept telling her, but it didn't do any good. None. Then Harriet got the wire. One that told about Big Jerry being dead. Almost killed her. I thought it was going to. They was really in love. It isn't often you see something like them two. Real love. The kind you live, not the kind you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One night, right after she got the wire, she got a phone call from San Francisco. From old Miss Shipley. She told Harriet that she was going to the court to take the baby away from her. Said she could prove Harriet wasn't a good mother and she didn't deserve to have the baby.
Was Harriet living here at the time?
No. She'd come down every weekend, but she wasn't living here. There was a guy up in L.A. that was giving her trouble. A fellow named Bender, I think. He was with her when she tried to kill herself. He ran out so he wouldn't get mixed up in it. He was always giving Harriet trouble, so she left one night to get away from him and old Mrs. Shipley. She came down here and said that she just wanted to be left alone with her baby. That's not a lot to ask, is it? Just to be left alone?
No, ma'am.
It was for old Mrs. Shipley. She just wouldn't let Harriet alone. Kept after her saying how she was going to take away the baby. How Harriet was an unfit mother. Kind of got on her mind. Finally, there wasn't much else she was thinking about but how to keep her baby. She went out walking one night. Took the baby with her. Rained. Rained real hard. I guess the baby took cold. Anyway, the next day he came down with a bad fever. A couple of days later, he was dead. Not even a year old, and he was dead.
Mm-hmm. You want to go on?
Harriet sat around for a week. Didn't say anything. Didn't do nothing, just stare at the wall. Didn't even cry. Just sat and looked at the wall. And all of a sudden, she just fell apart. I called the doctor. He said it was a breakdown and said I should have her committed. I signed the papers, and that's where she is. I went up to see her. She didn't even know me. I'm her sister, and she didn't even know me. So you just tell old Miss Shipley how she did good. You just tell her what she did to my sister. Tell her how the baby's dead, and she's finally got what she wanted, because now Harriet hasn't got the baby. Nobody's got him. Nobody's got him, nobody.
Come on, Frank.
Yeah. Where to?
Well, we better get back to town.
Guess so.
See Miss Shipley. We got back to Los Angeles at 9:30 p.m. We went directly to the hotel where Mrs. Shipley was staying. The desk clerk told us that she left word that she was not to be disturbed. He called the room and she asked that we come up. We took the elevator to the 7th floor and we walked down the hall.
Good evening, Sergeant Friday. Officer Smith, come in.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're just having a drink. May I fix you one?
No, thank you.
How about you, Mr. Smith?
No, thank you.
You don't mind if I go ahead?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Just sit down and I'll be right with you.
Thank you.
Desk clerk said it was important.
Yes, ma'am.
You found my daughter-in-law?
Yes, ma'am.
And the baby? Where's he? Is he still with her?
No, ma'am, he's not.
Where is he?
Your daughter-in-law's pretty sick, Miss Shipley.
Oh?
Yes, ma'am. She's in the state hospital up at Camarillo.
Camarillo?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a mental hospital, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about Harriet, but I knew she wasn't very stable.
Why didn't you tell us your son was dead, Mrs. Shipley?
I didn't think it had any bearing on the thing. What difference does it make?
You don't seem to be very interested in his wife.
I'm going to be honest with you, Sergeant. I'm not. Not in the least interested in what she does or where she is. I never did feel she was the right girl for my son, never. When the baby was born, I tried to go along with it. I tried to be nice to her, and she wouldn't have it. She wouldn't even be friendly. She poisoned my son, turned him against me. She's a terrible woman. Just terrible. Whatever's happened to her is just exactly what she's got coming. Naturally, I'm sorry it's the way it is, but there's nothing I can do. All I'm interested in right now is my grandchild. I want him. And if I have to go to court to get him, then I'll do it that way.
That won't be necessary, ma'am.
Where is he? I'd like to go and get him now that Jerry's wife can't take care of him.
He's dead, ma'am.
If this is some kind of a joke that you're making up to help my daughter-in-law keep him, it won't work.
It's no joke. It's the truth. He died in a hospital in San Diego.
It's not right. It's not right that he's dead. She did this. Harriet. She did it to get even with me. I know she did.
We're sorry, Miss Shipley.
First my husband, then Jerry. I haven't got anybody. I'm all by myself. There isn't anybody in the world who cares. Nobody.
No, we're sorry, Miss Shipley. I wish there was something we could do.
No, you're not. You're like the rest of them. Well, it's Harriet. She's the one. Nobody else to consider in this mess. Just her.
What about the baby?
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On Thursday, August 14th, a meeting was held in the office of the Captain of Homicide, Los Angeles Police Department. At the meeting held in Captain Lorman's office, it was decided that no criminal act had taken place and the case was officially marked closed. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Herb Bygren, Carolyn Jones. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
March 2nd, 1954, Dragnet on Classic Radio Theater will head to Wistful Vista in 3 minutes.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
If you enjoy our Classic Radio Theater broadcasts and want to start building a collection of your own, go to classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. There you'll find links to great classic radio collections on CD, along with links to great reading on classic radio, plus Classic Radio Theater on demand. Check out our webpage, available now at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. And enjoy.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share, and Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-90-SALM. That's 855-90-PSALM. 855-90-SALM.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy and some other issues. Finally, my internist, through a bunch of tests and colonoscopy, I won't bore you with the details, found out that my system doesn't produce enough acid to break food down enough where I get the B12 benefit out of it. So I went on shots once a month, which my wife, who's a nurse, can give me, but I was still pretty lethargic. I was just telling my wife last night, I said, you know what? I feel fantastic. This Balance of Nature really gives me energy beyond anything else I've ever taken.
Use discount code USA for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, we head to Wistful Vista and check out what's going on at 79 Wistful Vista, to be precise, in the household of Fibber McGee and Molly. This episode from March 2nd, 1956.
Again, we invite you to listen to the transcribed adventures of Fibber McGee and Molly. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Ralph Goodman and directed by Max Hutto. A large and fancy party will take place tonight at the home of the wealthy Mrs. J. Manville Whitney. And just about everybody who is anybody will be there, including a couple of people known as Fibber McGee and Molly.
I was just talking to Doc Gamble about the party tonight, Molly. And we're going with him and Miss Cuddleson in the doctor's car.
Oh, good. My, this ought to be a wonderful party.
All the top crust, my dear. Look, I got to go downtown this morning and run a couple errands. Anything I can get you down there?
Oh, yes, good. Will you go by the custom cleaners across the street from the Ritz Vista and pick up my good dress?
Well, you know, I've been giving some thought to this shindig tonight. Going to be a lot of fancy dresses there, huh?
Oh, naturally. That's why I had my best dress cleaned.
Well, I think you ought to buy a new dress.
It had a few spots on it. How was that again?
I says I think you ought to have a new party dress. Oh, I don't mean rush downtown and buy a Scapanelli original or one of them Dale Carnegies I read about.
Oh, McGee, no. Dale Carnegie doesn't make dresses. That's his sister Hattie you're thinking about.
Oh. Well, anyhow, I think you ought to go out and buy yourself something fancy, kiddo.
Oh, you're sweet. And I'll probably hate myself for this, but we can't afford a new dress right now, McGee.
Well, but you've been a good kid, and
Really, sweetheart, we don't go to many parties, and the dress I have at the cleaners is fairly new anyhow. It's good enough. Unless, of course, you don't like it.
Oh, sure, that's my favorite dress. The thing I like about it is that bow in the back.
Bow in the back?
You don't have a bow in the back? Well, anyway, I like the color on you anyhow. You always look good in green and...
Green? My dress isn't.
Black? Chartreuse? Pink?
Here's the slip for the cleaners. Pick up my dress, will you? And you're awful sweet to want to buy me a new one. Most husbands wouldn't even suggest it.
Well, you're sweet to turn it down. And just for that, I'm going to come home with a little surprise for you, Tootsie.
Surprise?
Yep. Because you're the type of wife that don't ask for anything, I'm going to get you something. I won't tell you what, but when you walk into that party tonight, you're going to be the envy of every woman there.
Really? Oh, my.
Yes, sir. You're going to have something that every woman longs for.
I already have that.
What's that?
You.
Oh, sure. Well, it's true, of course. I've always been sort of irresistible to the obstinate sex. But besides me, you're going to have something else that all...
Look, McGee, run on downtown and get my dress from the cleaners, will you? I've got my housework to do and everything.
Okay, I'll see you later. Unless, of course, I get kidnapped by Marilyn Monroe. All of me. Why not take all of me?
You mean to tell me you offered to buy your wife a new dress and she turned it down, mister?
Yep. Said just come down here and pick up her old one from you. Says it's plenty good enough. And here's the slip.
425J. Why, you got a wife and a million, you know that?
You betcha.
Man, if that was my Florence and I made her an offer like that, she'd grab the dress and beef for a hat and shoes to go with it.
Not my wife, though.
Oh, here's the dress. You got your card outside? You ought to hang it up so it don't wrinkle.
Yeah, I can manage okay. How much owe you?
Let's see, that's $1.50.
Okay, here you are.
Thanks. Hey, you don't know how lucky you are to have a wife like that, mister. You ought to really appreciate her.
I do, boy, I do. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going from here right to the florist. I'm going to buy her an orchid corsage.
Good.
I'm going to sneak in the house with it, hang this dress up, pin the orchid on it, and put a note on it that says, to the best little wife in the world.
That's the way to do it. I'd like to do things like that for my wife if she ever give me any reason to, but criminy,
Yeah, well, I'll see you later, bud. Next time the dress gets dirty.
Well, nice little guy. Gabby as heck, but... I thought that slip he gave me said 405J. It says 425J. I must... Holy smoke, I gave him the wrong dress. Hey, wait! Hey, wait, mister! That's not your wife's dress. I gave you the wrong... Mister! Oh, nuts. If the boss finds out about this mess, it's back to the bowling alley racking pins again.
I never was so surprised in my life, Mabel. Look at it.
Well, it's just fantastic, Moll. This is for Ripley, you know. You gotta send this in now, really.
Well, it happened just like I told you. I walked in from the backyard and I heard the front door slam. So I hollered, "Is that you, McGee?" And nobody answered. So I walked into the living room and there it was.
Oh, hanging right up in the middle of the living room, huh?
With this beautiful orchid pinned on it and this note.
To the best little wife in the world. Surprise.
He told me when he left he was going to buy me a surprise, but I never dreamed. Oh, isn't he silly?
Yeah, well, that knucklehead of mine should get that silly sometime.
But I told McGee I didn't need a new dress. The one I've got at the cleaners is good enough. So what does he do?
What every husband should do when his wife's foolish enough to object to a new dress, have her objection overruled. Hurry up now, get into it. Let's see how it looks.
Goodness, I'm so excited.
Well, come on now. Let me help you.
I just can't get over it. Imagine him just walking into a store and buying me a new dress, and beautiful, too, and the orchid, that's the final touch.
Well, I'm going to have a little talk with that husband of mine when he gets home tonight. Honestly, if Mort ever came home and brought me anything besides a beef... Here, let me zip it for you. Now, turn around, let's see.
Well, isn't it beautiful?
Uh-oh. Just like a man, brought the wrong size.
It does feel awful loose.
Yeah. Here, you see? Here. It's got to be taken in along both sides here.
Too long, too, isn't it?
Yeah. Hem's got to be lifted at least 3 inches.
Oh, dear.
Listen, when McGee gets home, let him take you and the dress back to that store. Expensive dresses like this, they'll make the alterations for you.
Oh, darn it. And I wanted to wear it to Mrs. Whitney's party tonight. I wonder if we could...
Sure we could. Get your machine out. I'll help you.
Swell. Would you?
Glad to. Shouldn't take more than an hour or so to rip it out and bring it in on the sides here.
Hey, Molly, I'm home. How'd you like the little surprise I dropped off this afternoon?
Oh, you darling. Come on in here and see.
As soon as I hang up my hat. She better like it. $5 that orchid cost. I looked at every flower in that shop before I picked it out.
What'd you say, dearie?
I said I looked through just about everything they had in the shop before I picked the exact right one for you.
I tell you, it's the prettiest thing I ever owned. How does it look on me?
Great, just great. Frankly, Molly, it was a little more than I had planned to spend, but now that I see you wearing it, I say it was worth every penny.
I'm so thrilled with it.
Oh, by the way, the man said if you put it in the refrigerator when you're not wearing it, it'll last a whole week.
The refrigerator? Oh, you're talking about the orchid?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I meant the dress. Mabel and I worked all afternoon taking it in, and I wanted you to see how nice...
Taking it in? What do you mean? It didn't fit?
No, but don't worry about
Well, what
it.
happened? Did it stretch or something? That guy never mentioned...
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm not complaining. My goodness, it's wonderful. It was just a couple of sizes too large.
Two sizes? Well, they sure got a nerve at that joint. What are they trying to pull on their customers anyhow? Give me that phone.
Now, dearie, there's no use calling. I already made the alterations.
Get the door, will you?
All right, sweetheart, but don't fret because the dress was a little large. It fits me fine.
I'll give that guy a piece of my mind for... hello, custom cleaners? This is McGee, Fibber McGee. The guy that picked up a dress of my wife's there this afternoon, and it comes home 2 sizes too big and... Huh? Well, you're glad I called. You what? Gave me the wrong... Oh, my gosh.
Just a minute, Sonny. I'll get the money for you.
Belongs to who? Mrs. Powers? I never heard of her. Yeah, but...
It's the paper boy, dearie. I've got some money in my purse. I'll pay him.
Do what? Return the dress and you'll give me the other one.
Oh, no, McGee. I don't want to return it. Please, dearie.
Yeah, but Molly, this dress...
I just love this dress. It's the first one you ever went out and bought for me all by yourself. I'll have everybody at that party so jealous tonight. Jealous because I've got such a sweet, thoughtful husband.
Okay. You can keep it. I'll work this out somehow.
Ah, you doll. Well, here's your money, Richard. $1.80 we owe you, so if you'll make out a receipt for me.
Oh, murder. Hello? Look, Bud, we're going to have to work out some kind of a deal on that dress. My wife thought it was a new one for her, and she cut it up to fit her. Well, Dad ratted it was your fault, not mine. Well, Mrs. Powers is your problem. I'll pay for it, sure, but I can't talk to you now. Huh? $75? Oh, leave us not be ridiculous, Bud. Look, I got to hang up now Well, it sure is a swell party. Having a good time, Molly?
Wonderful. Everyone's just raving about this new dress you bought me. Just about every woman here has complimented me on it.
Oh?
Everyone except that rather stout woman standing near the punch bowl. All she does is just stare.
Who's she?
Mrs. Powers, her name is.
Mrs. Powers?
Her husband's with the police department. Burglary division. Here she comes now.
Come on, kiddo, let's dance.
But, dearie...
We can always meet new people. But while we're young, let's live. Let's laugh. And let's get out on the balconies. Less crowded out there. So long, everybody.
See you Monday. Bye.
The Cleaner was played by Bill Thompson and Mabel Toops by Mary Jane Croft. This is John Wald wishing you a happy weekend now, but hoping you'll be back with us again Monday. Mr. McGee and Mr. Whipple decide to look over the new model automobiles. We think you'll enjoy it. Bye.
From March 2nd, 1956, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater.
America's Protestants, Catholics, and Jews are strengthening the bonds of brotherhood and friendship by helping the needy overseas. Through their houses of worship, these three faiths are sending voluntary relief to virtually every free country in the world. Hundreds of millions of pounds of goods, clothing, and medicine will go to victims of war, disaster, and famine in many parts of the world. More than 80% of American voluntary relief work for the hungry and needy overseas is conducted through the religious agencies of these three major faith groups. When you share with needy persons overseas through your house of worship, you are promoting the spirit of democracy that unites all peoples for peace and goodwill. You are keeping faith with the finest tradition and heritage of America. CBS Radio urges you to keep faith with those in need overseas by giving as much as you can through your faith.
Ladies and gentlemen, last year's traffic death toll was 37,500, a 7% increase over 1950. The National Safety Council believes that the best way to promote safety on the road is for each of us to know and obey traffic laws, to read and heed traffic signs. So be careful. The life you save may be your own.
And we thank you for making us a part of your day here on Classic Radio Theater. Would you do us a favor and stop by our website, classicradio.stream? When you go there, you can find, of course, our Classic Radio Theater podcast on demand. You can also find out more about Classic Radio Theater collecting, and you can also see some of the things that I do away from this microphone. That website is classicradio.stream. And by the way, you can also contact me through that website, or you can also contact me at our email address, which is classicradiotheater@gmail.com. And, of course, our podcasts are available anywhere fine podcasts are served. iTunes, Spreaker, the iHeartRadio app. Just search for USA Classic Radio Theater. Have yourself a great day, won't you please? I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening. Thank this station. Support the advertisers. And, as always, tell a friend the great radio shows are back. Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station and the USA Radio Network.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see you practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Honey, why are you putting $2 into all these sandwich bags?
Meal prep.
I don't think that's how it works.
Sure it is, because all my favorites at McDonald's are just $2. For breakfast, I'm getting sausage McGriddles, lunch, 6-piece chicken McNuggets. Or maybe a triple cheeseburger. Not sure, but whatever I choose, I'll be prepared.
Get sausage McGriddles, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, and for a limited time, the triple cheeseburger for just $2 each on McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing a car that's got style and substance to spare. The all-new RAV4 Limited, featuring a sophisticated, muscular new exterior and available options like a premium JBL audio system and panoramic roof. The all-new RAV4 Limited. Toyota, let's go places. JBL and Clarifier, registered trademarks of Harman International Industries, Incorporated.
The USA Radio Network presents the greatest radio programs of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
This is classic radio theater.
Gangbusters!
I was a communist for the FBI.
Lights out, everybody. Now here's your host, Wyatt Cox.
Medical drama from March 2nd, 1951, The Story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore as they treat David Cooper, a burn victim.
The Story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. And whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trusts. I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patient.
The Story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. Now, The Story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Dr. Gillespie's office.
Oh, this is Dr. Kildare, Parker. Is he in yet?
Is he in yet? Well, I should say he is. Well, we've already had 3 fights. He called me an ancient flop-eared witch, and I've called him a rambunctious old hog-collar. I've been fired 3 times and hired back twice.
Oh, that means you're still fired, then.
Oh, well, I'm technically unemployed, but he'll hire me back. Well, without me, he couldn't find his way around the office. Dr. Kildare, when I think of all I've done for that man and how ungrateful he is, I can just... Oh, yeah, Dr. Gillespie, you sneaked up on me.
I did indeed, and I got an earful, too. Ungrateful, am I?
Oh, I was only joking. Of course,
Well, you're still fired, and I am not joking. Give me that phone. Hello, Jimmy.
Good morning, Dr. Gillespie. I wonder if you'd come up to floor 7, room 706.
Something special going on up there?
Cooper's been acting up, you know. I guess I'll have to take his bandages off today.
Cooper? Oh, all right, Jimmy. I'll be right up.
Thank you. Diana Verner's in there now setting up a tray.
Refresh my memory, Jimmy, will you please? How long has Cooper been in here?
2 weeks. We've changed his bandages before, of course, but he's always been under anesthesia. When we take them off today, they'll stay off.
Preparing him for the surgery to come, huh?
Yeah.
Good. Are you administering morphine?
A half-grain. He's strong and in fair physical condition, considering all he's been through. Burns on his face pretty well healed. Good granulation tissue.
Well, what are your observations on his mental attitude?
It's not easy to say, definitely. He's been quiet, hasn't said much, but then they rarely do in these cases, you know.
I suppose his family are here.
No, they're not. He only has a wife, and when I telephoned, the maid said she'd gone to Boston for the weekend and wouldn't be back until this afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Well, shall we have a look at him?
Yeah, let's do it.
Everything's ready, Dr. Kildare.
Good.
He's had his shot.
Thanks, Diana.
Morning, Dr. Gillespie.
Diana? Well, how do you feel today, Mr. Cooper?
Like an animal trap.
Well, in a way, you're lucky, Mr. Cooper.
Really?
Yeah, comparatively. You should have seen what people with severe burns had to go through as little as 10 years ago.
Scissors, Diana.
Yes, Doctor.
Bandages changed every day.
Now, just hold still.
Great deal of surface infection and draining and pain.
Can you sit up now?
Sure.
We've come a long way since then. What with sulfonamides and penicillin. You kind of got in on the lucky days of science.
Sorry. I'll soak it loose.
Here's the solution, Doctor.
You say I got it easy, huh?
Well, no one with extensive burns has it easy. Yet it's better than it used to be by 1,000%.
Thanks for your kind lecture, Doctor, but it didn't take. You guys are all the same. This'll only hurt a little, and then it tears the top of your head off.
I'd appreciate it if you were a little more quiet, Mr. Cooper.
If I was standing where you are, you were lying in this bed, I could tell you how easy it was and even believe it.
You'll have to stop moving your head, or I can't be responsible for hurting you.
Just get it over with, that's all.
I'm down to the last layer of gauze. I'll give it a thorough soaking. Nurse.
Yes, Doctor.
Now, just hold still for a minute, and it'll be all over.
Go ahead.
There. You can rest now.
I commend you, Mr. Cooper. You did better than most men.
Oh, never mind the pep talk.
Just turn your head, please.
Very fine job. Very fine. Mr. Cooper, despite your antagonism, which is excusable from a man who's gone through your difficult medical experience, you should be grateful you've had a doctor of Kildare's competence.
Give me a mirror or something so I can get a look at myself.
Or perhaps we should wait until this afternoon when your wife can be here.
My wife? That's a laugh. I want to look at myself now.
Oh, Mr. Cooper, I advise against it at the moment.
What's the matter? Am I so gruesome I'd scare myself?
Of course not. It's just that burns, well, they do alter the skin surface somewhat, and I'd rather you tried to adjust yourself to it slowly.
Something you're not telling me.
Oh, don't put your hands to your face, please.
It's my face, isn't it? Or is it? Are you going to get me a mirror?
I'll tell you what, I'll bring one up this afternoon when we've contacted your wife. And
Get me a mirror now. Oh, sir, help me. I'll climb out of this bed and find one myself.
All right. Diana, can you locate one?
I think so, Doctor.
Mr. Cooper, did you think your face would be completely unscarred? After all, you can't crash land a burning airplane and then lie in the woods for a good many hours without medical attention and expect to come out of it looking like a matinee idol.
Someone was just telling me all about the great things modern science did, wasn't he? I want to see for myself.
But this is just the beginning. There's a lot of work yet to be done on you.
Let me be the judge of that.
Here's the mirror, Doctor.
Thanks.
Let me see it.
All right, Mr. Cooper, but I have just one more thing to say. Now, remember, all we've done so far is to heal the wound. We haven't started any repair work at all. Reconstructive surgery can do a great deal for you.
Let me see it.
Here.
Get out! Go on, get out, all of you!
Now, Mr. Cooper, please.
Did you hear me? Go on, get out! Get out! Get out!
Good morning, Jimmy.
Dr. Gillespie.
Do you know that in the past 2 days I've counted more than 6 new worry lines in your face? If you're not careful, you'll end up by looking like me.
Can't help it. I am worried.
David Cooper.
Yes, he won't talk with anyone, the nurses or myself. Refuses to see any visitors, won't allow the lights to be turned on in his room, and he eats practically nothing. I spent half the day yesterday with our plastic surgeon, Dr. Sinclair, going over his case. Sinclair assures me that he could restore him almost completely to normal.
Well, then go to the boy and tell him just that.
He refuses to listen to anybody.
Well, then give him a chance to think things over by himself. He'll come around.
I wish I thought so. He's in a state of acute melancholia. They say there's a psychological lever that works for each individual case. The trouble is finding it.
Do you have any ideas?
Maybe. Suppose we go out to Long Island and see his wife. She hasn't been to the hospital at all.
Have you explained the situation to her?
No, every time I've called, the maid says she's out.
Well, a wife simply isn't out to her husband when he's sick and in trouble, unless there's a darn good reason. And if Mrs. Cooper's reason is good enough to keep her away from this hospital, I don't think we should go tampering with it.
You're absolutely right, Dr. Gillespie, but I've got to treat my patient, and this may be the way to do it. Now, would you care to come?
No, sir. The days of sticking my nose in other people's lives are over.
All right, Dr. G. I'll see you later.
Confound it. Handmade my hat and coat.
What is it you want, gentlemen?
Mrs. Cooper? Oh, I'm Dr. Kildare, and this is Dr. Gillespie.
How do you do?
How do you do? Didn't my maid explain to you that I was out?
I'm afraid we had to insist. You see, Mrs. Cooper, your husband is in a serious mental state. He was shocked at the condition of his face. He refuses any help, and we thought you might be able to talk to him for us.
David is quite old enough to take care of himself.
Illness makes children out of all of us, Sure, you can't ignore your own husband at a time like this.
I'm sorry for him. I'm as sorry as I can be that it happened. But he did this to himself. Just like everything he's ever done. He does it. I just stand by and watch. And then when he needs me, he starts crying. This time I'm not answering.
But I think you're the only one who can do anything for him. Now, he needs someone to believe in him, to help him over the shock of what's happened. And if you love him, this is not too much for you to do.
That's just it, Doctor. I don't love him. I did once, but not anymore. I'll tell you what's bothering David more than anything else in the world. He's lost his good looks. His looks were his life. He traded on them. He made money on them, and he broke hearts with them. Mine included. Maybe this will make a man of him.
Oh, it won't make a man of him at all. No, it'll make a wreck of a man.
Well, he asked for it. You know who was in that plane with him when he crashed. Mrs. Elaine Dobson, the showgirl widow. I suppose he was selling real estate at 12,000 feet? Well, I'm the laughingstock of Long Island.
Mrs. Cooper, it's not my place to poke into your private marital life. But out of common humanity, couldn't you come down to the hospital and do something?
No, Dr. Kildare. I could not.
Do you mean to say that is your final word?
No, there's something else. I'm leaving for Reno. My lawyers are serving David with divorce papers today. Jimmy!
Yes?
Oh, I'm glad you got back to the hospital.
What's wrong, Diane?
It's David Cooper. He just tried to kill himself.
We return to the story of Dr. Kildare in just a moment.
From March 2nd, 1951, the story of Dr. Kildare on Classic Radio Theater.
This is a national health alert from the Healthcare Hotline. Are you on Medicare and or have private insurance and suffer from back pain? MD Topical has a solution for you. Today, you can qualify to receive a pain-relieving treatment, such as a comfortable back brace or a customized pain treatment at little or no cost. Call MD Topical toll-free now, 877-875-5909. It just takes a couple of minutes to qualify for these amazing treatments that have helped thousands of people with severe pain. Your personalized pain treatment will be delivered directly to your door. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com and get started on your road to a pain-free life. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com.
Friends, I've been telling you now for more than a year how MyPillow has given me back something I haven't had for a long time, and that's some great sleep. And you can get good sleep, too, with a MyPillow. It keeps its shape, stays cool all night long, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And you can toss a MyPillow in your washer, dryer. It's like new again. Try doing that with your pillow. And it is 100% made in the USA. And here's a great deal. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows to take on vacation for half off. Free shipping. Don't forget, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. 1-800-951-8175. And my USA promo code is good for anything on the MyPillow.com website.
Do you think you can lose fat cells without dieting? Science says the answer is yes. It's not about a fast process, but when you give your body back what it needs, you can lose weight without having to diet. Calitrin is specially formulated to do exactly that and proven for healthy and safe weight loss. Just listen to what people are saying about it.
Hi, this is Lynn. I've been on Calitrin. So far, I've lost 35 3/4 inches, and I've lost 45 pounds.
My name is Judy. I live in Newburgh, Indiana. I have lost 21 pounds on Calitrin. I really like it.
I had exercised and nothing made a difference. So I got the Calitrin and I tried it and was amazed at how well Calitrin really works. And it also took my hot flashes away. So it's been wonderful. I am happy.
Give your body back what it needs with Calitrin. Check it out online at toploss.com or call 833-TOP-LOSS for Calitrin's big sale. Again, that's 833-TOP-LOSS or toploss.com.
You're listening to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station, The Story of Dr. Kildare, March 2nd, 1951.
Now we continue with The Story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Jimmy?
Yes?
Oh, Dr. Gillespie. I didn't know you were still here.
Yeah. You look prettier every day, Diana.
Thank you. This is Mr. Cooper's chart. He's resting quite comfortably now.
Oh, well, just leave it on the desk. I'll look at it later.
All right. It wasn't your fault he tried to jump out of the window.
That's what I've been telling him for an hour. He doesn't believe me either.
Well, I'm going off duty now. Jimmy, if you want to talk or anything later on, I'll be home all evening.
Thanks, sweetie. I'll call you.
Well, we're lucky that attendant stopped him and that Cooper didn't hurt himself.
Not this time.
You think he'll try it again?
Maybe, unless we can reason with him.
He isn't an easy man to reason with.
Simply doesn't want to accept life. But somehow I feel that a man who says he doesn't need help needs it the most. I'm going to give him all I can, whether he'll accept it or not.
Does his wife know what's happened?
I had Diana phone her house. The maid says she's taking the 9 o'clock plane for Reno tonight. There's no way to get in touch with her before she goes.
Well, that ends that.
It would seem so, Dr. G. Oh, what was that other woman's name? The one who was in the plane when Cooper crashed.
Mean the showgirl widow?
Yes.
Elaine Dobson.
That's right.
That's it. Surely you're not thinking...
Oh, yes, I am. I'm going to get her on the phone and bring her up here to talk to Cooper if I can. Apparently, she's the woman we should have looked for in the first place.
Well, see here, Jimmy. I think you're carrying things too far. A man's private life belongs to himself.
Maybe, but from what I've heard, the names of David Cooper and this other woman who was with him were all in the papers.
Yeah?
I think that makes them rather public property. Now, I'm not looking for scandal, Doctor. I'm looking for the key to this man's heart, so he'll want to live.
Maybe it's Elaine Dobson, maybe it isn't. But I'm going to find out.
I haven't made a blind date since I was in high school, Dr. Kildare. But I'm glad I made this one.
Oh, thank you.
So you're David Cooper's doctor. How is he?
Not very good right now, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was lucky. All I got out of that plane crash was sore feet walking around the mountains looking for help.
Yes, I read all about that in the newspapers. You haven't been in to see him at the hospital, have you?
No. Should I?
He might appreciate a little visit from you.
He didn't ask you to call me. What's on your mind, Doctor?
Oh, Mr. Cooper's burns are very serious. All things considered, he's recovered very well up until a couple of days ago. But when he saw the damage done to his face, he became absolutely unapproachable. Today, he even attempted suicide.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we expected an emotional shock, but this threw us, frankly. If someone he knows and loves could just spend some time with him, I know he'd listen to reason.
And you read the papers, and you think I might be that someone?
Yes, I do. Well?
Got a light?
Oh, sure.
Thanks. Doctor, you got a bum steer. There's nothing between David Cooper and myself. There's only one woman for him, and that's his wife, Jean.
But I talked to her, and she said
No
that...
matter what she said or he said, I know. Look, I saw him a lot. I'm sort of in the real estate business, too. But he was always business with me. And believe me, that means he was all business with every other woman.
You don't sound like the kind of a person I was supposed to be talking with.
You mean I don't sound like the other woman? Well, I'm not the other woman, and no credit to me.
That isn't quite the way I understood it.
Oh, I'm in love with him, all right. I'd take that guy in a minute if I could get him, but I can't. Nobody can. She's got him, and she'll always have him.
Mrs. Cooper's planning on divorcing him right now.
I know, I heard about that. Even at that, she'll still have him. Know what I mean?
Yes, I think so. But she doesn't know that.
No, she's always been too busy with bridge clubs and cocktail parties to know he's been around loving her the way he does. Not that he's been a saint, but I tried, Dr. Kildare, and I'm a girl who doesn't miss very often.
No, I don't think you do, Mrs. Dobson. Well, you were awfully decent to meet me and talk the way you have. I like you, Elaine Dobson.
Thanks, Doctor. You're all right yourself. I wish I could help out. I'd give anything to be the one to go in that hospital room and talk to him. But I'm just not your girl.
Maybe you can still help, though. Would you be willing to go to Mrs. Cooper and tell her what you've told me?
Me? Go to her? That's a switch.
Would you?
Well, you stuck your neck out, and I'd be sticking my neck out, but if it'd help, yes.
Good girl. Hello? Hello?
Jimmy? Is that you?
Yes, and I think we're getting somewhere.
Elaine Dobson's the right one, huh?
No, not exactly. I'll explain later. Right now, we've got to get out to the airport and stop Mrs. Cooper from getting on that 9 o'clock plane.
Why, it's after 8 o'clock now. You can't possibly...
Oh, we could make it if you'd help out. Look, do you think you could sort of, commandeer an ambulance?
An ambulance? Are you...
It'd get us through the traffic, yes. Doctor, this is important. I think it'll save Cooper's life.
An ambulance, huh?
Yes.
Well, that's what they're for. Stay where you are, Jimmy. I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Can you get a driver?
Driver? I'll drive it myself. 4 minutes to 9. Phew, I hope we can find her.
I'll wait here. You two go ahead. And good luck.
Thanks.
I'm with you, Jimmy. Oh, where in tarnation?
Flight 37 to Chicago, Salt Lake, Reno, San Francisco. Passengers will please board at gate 5.
37, that must be her flight.
Jimmy, isn't that her walking up the ramp there?
Where?
In the brown suit.
Oh, that's her. Come on. Oh, Miss Cooper. Mrs. Cooper. We almost missed you.
Why, Dr. Kildare. Dr. Gillespie.
So we got to talk to you.
Well, I'm sorry, but I haven't time. My plane is just about to leave.
You must listen to us.
I can't, I tell you.
Mrs. Cooper, when your husband received your divorce papers today, he tried to commit suicide.
Oh, David. Oh, no.
March 2nd, 1951, the story of Dr. Kildare. I'm Wyatt Cox, and you're listening to Classic Radio Theater right here on your favorite radio station. The conclusion in 4 minutes.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, MediShare members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with MediShare. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-90-PSALM. That's 855-90-PSALM. 855-90-PSALM.
You know, it's been more than a year that I've been telling you here on Classic Radio Theater about my pillow and how much better I feel and how I could never sleep overnight in a bed. I would always get up and I would always use this, I got to go do this, I got to do that. And the bottom line was I wasn't comfortable. And one of the things that has helped make me comfortable has been my pillow. Now, you know, I get up now maybe once a night, maybe, and that's because I do have to, you know, because I'm an old man. But here's something that you should try. Go to mypillow.com and get you a MyPillow 4-pack. You get to use promo code USA. You'll get 2 My Premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for half off, plus free shipping. And remember, you get a 60-day money-back guarantee. You try it, you don't like it, send it back. And a 10-year warranty. Now, I don't know of any pillows that, you know, after 10 years are even worth keeping, but you can get that with a MyPillow. And that's, you know, put it in your washer, dryer, comes out, fluff it up, it's just as good as new. I've done it a bunch of times. Try doing that with your current pillow. You end up with a dryer and washer full of feathers. And we want to make American jobs. Here you go, made in the USA. Go to mypillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter my promo code, which is USA. You'll get 2 MyPillow Premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, half price, plus free shipping. And don't forget, they've got a 60-day money-back guarantee. What have you got to lose? Go to mypillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. That's 1-800-951-8175, and use promo code USA. Oh, and don't forget, that promo code is good for just about anything on the MyPillow.com website, so shop around. You'd be surprised at things that you'll find when you go to MyPillow.com and use my promo code USA.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
You're listening to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of the story of Dr. Kildare, March 2nd, 1951.
When your husband received your divorce papers today, he tried to commit suicide.
Oh, David. Oh, no.
He seriously needs someone. Now, we're here to ask you to come back and help him.
Oh, I want to, but David doesn't need me. There's someone else.
I know, you mean Elaine Dobson, but you're wrong about that.
Oh, Dr. Kildare, you just don't know anything about it.
Oh, yes, I do, now. And Mrs. Dobson's waiting outside to talk to you, if you don't believe me.
She's here? She came here to see me?
Yes, just to tell you how much your husband does need you. Well, will you come with me? Will you come talk to her, Mrs. Cooper?
Well, Jimmy, we've been sitting in this ambulance for 2 hours now. So I'm getting stiff. How long can two women spend over a cup of coffee?
Long enough to get a lot of things straightened out, I hope.
Well, I hope so, too. I didn't agree with you on your method of handling this case, but I... Someone's coming out of the lunchroom.
It's Mrs. Cooper.
I got my fingers crossed.
I'm sorry we took so much time. We had a great many things to discuss.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Mrs. Dobson, well, that is Elaine, took a taxi back to town.
Huh.
She said she'd call you later.
Oh, I see. And you? Do you want to wait for the next plane or go back to town?
I'd like to go back to the hospital with you, Doctor. I'd like to see my husband.
Well, Mrs. Cooper?
Doctor, David said that he'd like to talk to you for a moment.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Oh, no. None of that now. None of that.
What? I've been so wrong about so many things.
Oh, well, everybody makes mistakes, you know. Misunderstanding seems to be the keynote in this day and age.
All these years, I've been thinking that David was interested in other women, that he didn't love me. It's funny, isn't it? It took another woman to tell me the truth.
And you know how much he really needs you, and how much you need him.
Yes, Doctor. Thanks to you, and Dr. Kildare and Elaine Dobson.
And you told him that just now?
Yes.
Well, there's nothing to cry about.
Well, Mrs. Cooper, I have some good news for you, and for you too, Dr. Gillespie. Our patient wants Dr. Sinclair to start surgery as soon as possible.
Oh, thank heaven. Thank heaven.
You see, there's nothing to cry about now. Wouldn't that be your opinion, Doctor?
Exactly my opinion, Doctor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now, once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
No, Dr. Carew. Yes, Dr. Carew. I know you're the head of this hospital. Yes. Well, I'll tell him as soon as he comes in. Dr. Gillespie, you're going to have to talk with him sometime.
Well, I don't want to talk to him now. Just keep on telling him I'm out.
What's all this business about you stealing an ambulance? All right. You got yourself in trouble. You won't even tell me about it. I give up. I won't even try to help you.
You never helped me in your life.
Oh.
It's Carew. I'm out.
Dr. Gillespie, don't you dare hide under that desk.
Anybody home?
Oh, Dr. Kildare, he's home, yes.
Jimmy, come on in. Quickly shut the door.
He's gone insane, Dr. Kildare. Absolutely off his noodle.
Go on with you. I'm just wary of traitors who work on the inside. Jimmy, Carew's all fired up about this ambulance.
Well, I guess I'm guilty along with him.
You, Dr. Kildare.
It was in line of duty. I'll swear to it on a stack of lab reports. And in this case, it saved a man's life. Just the same as if we'd picked him up on an accident emergency call.
All right. I'll cover for you. Dr. Carew calls again. I'll slip him an alibi.
Well, now, Parker, that's nice of you. And in view of circumstances, you can forget that I fired you this morning.
You wouldn't dare fire me.
Mm-hmm.
I know too much.
Well, maybe you're right at that. Dr. Kildare, how would you like a little golf this afternoon?
Why, I'd be delighted, Dr. G.
So would I. Now that we've got that one out of our systems, let's get to work on the next case.
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. This program was written by E. Jack Newman and John Michael Hayes and directed by Joe Bigelow. Original music was composed and conducted by Walter Schumann. Supporting cast included Virginia Gregg, Georgia Ellis, Larry Dobkin, Yvonne Patey, and Isabel Jewell. Dick Joy speaking.
The story of Dr. Kildare, March 2nd, 1951, on Classic Radio Theater.
Here's some great News. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medishare, and Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, Medishare members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medishare. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join Medishare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-90-PSALM. That's 855-90-PSALM. 855-90-PSALM.
If you want to be healthier, it all starts with a good night's rest. Well, MyPillow will help you. Go to MyPillow.com. You'll get free shipping when you click on their 4-pack special. That's 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, free shipping, 60-day money-back guarantee, and a 10-year warranty. Click on the 4-pack special at MyPillow.com. Use promo code USA to get 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the 4-pack special. Use promo code USA.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
If you enjoy our classic radio theater broadcasts and want to start building a collection of your own, go to classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. There you'll find links to great classic radio collections on CD, along with links to great reading on classic radio, plus classic radio theater on demand. Check out our webpage, available now at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. And enjoy.
When you fire up a John Deere 1 Series tractor, you can tackle the job without wrestling the attachments. Hook up everything from a front loader to a drive-over mower deck in no time, so you can haul gravel, cut grass, or do any job in between. Because when things just click, work just gets done. And now get a 1 Series for just $99 a month at your nearest participating John Deere dealer. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere 1 Series for more. 0% annual percentage rate. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Now on Classic Radio Theater Part 5 of the 5-part yours truly Johnny Dollar story, The Phantom 5 Matter. This was originally broadcast March 2nd, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Barney Wilson here.
All right, Mr. Wilson, I'm braced. Rub it in.
Well, you were a little overconfident.
Overconfident? Let's face it, I made a jerk of myself. After I apologize to you, I've got to crawl out there and apologize to Mrs. Markey.
I wouldn't be too hasty about it.
I've been putting it off for the last 2 hours. After the way I talked to her, I'd rather walk into a cage of lions than face her again. But I thought her husband was alive, and I thought she knew it. Then your boys have to go and pull his body out of the surf.
Well, that's why I called.
I had a tag for an out-and-out insurance fraud.
Mr. Dollar, the way it looks right now, I don't know what it is.
It was probably murder. What else?
Look, if you want to lose your mind, you come on over here to the morgue.
Why? What do you mean?
Mr. Dollar, I've been a detective for 20 years, but I've never hit one before that was as crazy as this.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Miami Beach. To the Home Office, Delta Liability, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, the Phantom 5 matter. It happened to involve a $75,000 insurance policy. Item 17, $1.60, taxi from my hotel to the county morgue. I couldn't figure what Wilson meant. When the cruiser Fathom 5 burned and sank and William Markey's body wasn't found, I thought I'd spotted an attempted insurance swindle. I'd even warned Mrs. Markey not to try to file a claim. And then, a few hours ago, Markey's drowned body had been washed up on the beach. Wilson should be happy. He'd been proven right. But instead, he'd sounded more mixed up and uncertain than he'd been before.
Come on in, Mr. Dollar.
You know, you don't pick the pleasantest places in the world to hold conferences.
I thought you might want to take a look at him. Though I'll be eternally blasted if I know what anybody could tell by looking. Well, there's the lad who's given us all the trouble, Mr. Dollar. William Markey, number 423.
I never thought I'd see him here. I told Mrs. Markey that the only thing that would convince me he wasn't alive would be to see his body. All right, I'm convinced. And I'll never try to outguess an ocean current again. Everything seemed to add up to... Oh, now, wait a minute.
I wondered how long it'd be before you noticed.
Doesn't make sense.
Like I said on the phone, this one is crazy.
This was pulled out of the surf this morning?
Right.
And the cruiser sank 5 days ago. That's when Markey supposedly drowned.
You're on the beam, Mr. Dollar.
This body hasn't been in the ocean for 5 days.
You win the 4-day trip to Bermuda and a complete new wardrobe.
Have you had an autopsy?
Doc Morgan just finished it 20 minutes ago. That's why I called you. Doc wouldn't stick around himself. You know, I think he went out to get drunk.
How long does he think Markey has been dead?
Not over 18 hours, since sometime last night. Looks like we were both right, for whatever good it is. He was alive after the sinking, just like you claimed, and now he's dead, just like I claimed.
What was the cause of death?
Drowning. Only you haven't heard the real crazy part yet.
Why? What do you mean?
You remember we found one of his shoes washed in a couple of days ago?
Yeah?
The body was wearing 2 shoes when they pulled it out.
They always make one slip, don't they?
A couple in this case.
Huh?
It's the second one that nearly pushed Doc Morgan off his rocket.
What second one?
Markey was drowned, all right, but not in the ocean.
Huh?
It was fresh water in his lungs, not seawater.
Was Morgan sure?
Swore by it, and men at it. That's what threw him.
Yeah, I imagine. When you get an 18-hour test on a man who's supposed to have been dead for 5 days and find fresh water when it ought to be salt. I guess the late Mr. Markey can't tell us much of anything else.
So, where do we go from here, Mr. Dollar?
Good question. You haven't found the car yet, huh? The one Markey bought under an assumed name?
No, but I gave the boys an extra prod to bear down on it. Half the town force is out looking for it now.
Wonder where he was hiding out for those 4 days.
What I want to know is who killed him and how and why.
Oh, the why is fairly easy. It's the who and how that carry the question marks. That fingerprint ID was certain, huh? There's not the slightest doubt but what this is William Markey.
Oh, you're looking for an easy way out, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, I guess I am at that. Well, then it looks like our number one is the lad you've been after all along.
Young Danny Haynes, huh?
What do you say we go and have a talk with him? Only one thing was wrong with the idea. It didn't work. Haynes wasn't in, and the clerk at his hotel said he hadn't seen him all day. The night clerk admitted that he'd slept through most of his shift and wasn't sure of anything. We searched Haynes' room and found nothing. So for the moment, we left it at that. Wilson put a stake out in the hotel and went back to his office. I went to my hotel and waited. Johnny Dollar.
Barney Wilson.
Yeah, what's up?
We finally got a break. The boys found that car.
Where?
Parked at the curb out on the east side of town. May have been abandoned there, or it may be where Markey was hiding out. It's in front of an apartment house.
Have they checked through it yet?
No, they haven't touched it. I'm leaving to go out there now. Want me to swing by and pick you up?
If you don't, I'll sue you. I'll meet you out in front of the hotel. We stopped a block away and walked up to the apartment house. The car was still parked at the curb, and the plainclothes man watching it said no one had been near it. We went on inside and found the landlady, identified ourselves, and started questioning her. Luck seems to still be with us.
Well, you see, most of my guests are permanent, as you might say, or at least as permanent as renters ever are.
Yes, we understand.
In fact, the only unit I've let in the last 2 months is number 14. That's up one flight with a pull-down bed.
When did you rent that one?
Well, let's see now. I think it was, about 10 days ago. He paid a month's rent in advance.
What was his name?
Mr. Jones. A very nice, quiet, middle-aged fella.
Live by himself?
Oh, yes, and never went out much. After he moved in, that is. He didn't stay here for the first 4 or 5 days after he rented it.
Until the night the Fathom 5 sank.
When did you see Mr. Jones last?
Well, it's a funny thing. He went out yesterday evening and he didn't come back at all.
What kind of a car did he drive?
Oh, good heavens, I don't know. But you can look for yourself. It's parked out there at the curb. A friend of his brought it by a while ago.
What? What's the friend's name?
Why, I didn't ask him. He's an awful nice young fella. He said Mr. Jones was going on a trip and sent him to pick up his belongings. And he had Mr. Jones's key, so I decided it was all right. He's up there packing now.
12, 13. It's next door down there.
Better take it easy. It's hard to tell what to expect.
Right. He's in there, all right.
Try the knob. Easy.
It's locked.
And there isn't much choice.
Who is it? Open up, Haynes. We want to talk to you. I said open up.
Get away from that door.
Watch it, Wilson.
I'm warning you, don't try to come in.
Well, we know now what to expect.
I'll cover the door here, Dollar. You go down and tell Dave to cover the outside windows and call in for a couple of squad cars.
Right. Hey, he's going out that window. There must be a fire escape.
Come on, let's hit the door.
There he is, at the bottom of the fire escape.
Hold it, Haynes! Stay back! All right, Haynes, it's up to you. Throw down that gun or I'll drop you. I'm sorry, kid.
He's down.
Yeah.
That second shot was dead center.
I know. I tried to hold low on him, but it jumped up on me.
Well, he said he'd die for her if it came to that.
It came to that.
It was after dark when Wilson and I drove out to the Marquis Beach House. There were no lights on and nobody answered the doorbell. So Wilson forced entrance and we shook the place down. We found evidence of a struggle in the study and in the bathroom. Water from the bathtub had overflowed behind the tile and was still seeping out along the baseboard. We found a dressing gown of Mrs. Markey stuffed in the back of a closet, soaking wet. Piece by piece, Wilson collected his evidence, and the picture became more and more clear. He phoned in for a fingerprint crew and went on working. I left him there and went back into town to my hotel and took the elevator up to my room.
Mr. Dollar,
What are you doing here?
waiting for you. They've got extras out. They say the police shot Danny Haynes. I thought maybe you could tell me what it's all about.
Sure. And what you mostly want to know is how much he talked before he died. Isn't that it, Mrs. Markey?
I don't know what you mean.
Then go on out to your house and ask Wilson. He's out there with a fingerprint crew. And I imagine he can tell you anything you want to know by now. I slipped up last night. I thought it was Haynes who came to your door. But it wasn't. It was your husband. And you told him to come back later. Then when I left, you called Haynes and had him come over.
If he said that, he lied.
I even gave you the idea for it myself. When I said the only thing that could convince me your husband wasn't alive would be to see his dead body. So you talked Haynes into helping you provide the evidence I said I'd have to have.
My husband's body was found in the ocean. They told me that this evening.
Yeah, but he didn't die there. He was drowned in the bathtub at your house, and you and Haynes did it.
You're out of your mind. Danny Haynes was lying.
Then go tell Wilson. It's his job now, not mine. Maybe you'll be able to convince him, but I doubt it. And I'm pretty sure you won't be able to convince a jury.
You think not. I'll get the best lawyer money can buy.
Yeah, you do that, Mrs. Markey, but don't plan on using any of that insurance money for it.
Why not?
Because there won't be any. That policy was already void when you and Haynes killed your husband last night. What? An attempted fraud cancels a policy the minute it's committed. In other words, Mrs. Markey, 5 days ago when your husband sank the Fathom 5 and tried to play dead.
I don't believe it.
You've lost out all the way around, Mrs. Markey. Your husband, your boyfriend, your insurance claim. And now you stand a pretty good chance of losing your life. A 4-time loser. That's really a record. Expense account item 18, $321.60. Hotel and incidentals in Miami and transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $684.95. End of account, end of report. Remarks? You quoted a line of Shakespeare at the start of this case, Ralph. Full fathom 5, thy father lies. Well, you're wrong. It turns out to be the widow who lies, and lies, and lies. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, there'll be another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, beginning next Monday night.
Next week. Well, if I'd minded my own business, I wouldn't have heard the girl beg for help. And from that point on, I needed help. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in this week's cast were Mary Jane Croft, Barney Phillips, Carlton Young, Eleanor Audley, Sam Edwards, Shep Menken, and John Daner. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to join us on Monday night, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Roy Rowan speaking.
And there you have it, part 5 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Phantom 5 Matter, as it was originally broadcast March 2nd, 1956. Find our webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream Classic Radio Theater podcasts, learn more about classic radio theater collecting, and learn some of the things I do away from this microphone. We're on Facebook, and also you can find our podcasts anywhere fine podcasts are served. Just search for USA Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thank this station. Thank the advertisers. And please always tell a friend. The great radio shows are back. Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station in the USA Radio Network.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing a car that's got style and substance to spare. The all-new RAV4 Limited. Featuring a sophisticated, muscular new exterior and available options like a premium JBL audio system and panoramic roof. The all-new RAV4 Limited. Toyota. Let's go places. JBL and Clarifier, registered trademarks of Harman International Industries Incorporated.